so further away. Got it. Okay. How about now? I moved it down my chest here just a little bit. Yep. Doing a quick mic check. Now I can do a quick mic check live in Cumberland County. Better. Okay, cool.
Better. Yeah.
So just lower down. Got it.
Check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Check, check, check. Thank you.
This morning on Fox 43, the storm is here and snow is falling heavy all across South Central PA.
We'll have live team coverage throughout the day. Our reporters stationed across the viewing area with meteorologists Tony Martin and Jacob Hitz here in the studio.
Plus, Fox 43's Robert Stover monitoring conditions in Cumberland County and our Sedona Meadows over in York County. Fox 43 Morning News starts right now. 8 o'clock on your Sunday morning. Welcome to a special edition of Fox 43 Morning News. I'm Gabrielle Media.
And good morning, everybody. I'm James Tully. Spent the last couple of weeks talking about what happened 30 years ago with the blizzard of 96.
Right.
We have another snow event today, and we're with you through all of it to see how it breaks down. Heavy snow, frigid temperatures are impacting South Central Pennsylvania as we speak.
And as we've mentioned, we have team coverage, not only out in the field, but also in our studio. We've got our Tony Martin and Jacob Hitz. They are monitoring the storm's path and letting you know what you need to know if you need to get out the door. But probably a good idea to stay home if you can, Jacob.
And that's really been the messaging all week. If you don't have to go anywhere,
Right.
don't go.
It's a Sunday,
simple.
right.
Exactly. Stay at home. We've got football later on that you'll see on Fox 43 a little later tonight. Just take it easy. You know, hopefully you're well stocked up with food, things of that nature, and we'll get through this together. Here we go.
We
all
will.
the way through. Rest of the day. Buckle up. We ready?
We're ready.
All right, let's take a look back in time a little bit for our time lapse over Lancaster County. This starts at 8 o'clock last night. As we go through overnight, that snow starting to fall a little after we got to midnight into early Sunday morning. And now the snow has come down across the area in a live look right at 8 o'clock here at the top of the hour. And the snow continuing to fall all across the area. And it may be tough to tell on the screen, but obviously the snow is sticking in some spots across the area this morning. Now we have gone through and looked at some of the snow totals that have been reported so far. Obviously a long way to go, but right now 10 degrees in Lancaster County. That's the temperature. It feels like -5. Obviously with the snow, you have the wind as well. And with these bitter cold temperatures that we've been talking about, those aren't going to go anywhere over these next couple of days as well. Here are snowfall totals right now. Hershey, last check in Dauphin County at 4 inches, 3.8 over in Manheim. Some of those Lancaster County reports came in pretty much right at the wire right before we came on at the top of the hour. Palmyra and Mechanicsburg each at just under 3.5 inches, and then York at 3 inches on the nose. And live look at the roadways this morning. Obviously things are very snow covered across the area. Hardly any traffic on the roadway, and that is the good news. PennDOT obviously has restricted a lot of the roadways this morning, slowed down speed limits, and at this point, the only vehicles that should be out there, snow plows and emergency vehicles, cars and trucks are also allowed, but things like tractor trailers and things of that nature, not going to find them, or at least you shouldn't find them out on the roadway. From the roads now to the radar itself, we're going to turn things over to Tony, who's at the wall with a full look at what we're dealing with right now and, of course, what's coming up a little bit later on as we go through this afternoon. Tony?
Jacob, thanks. Yeah, we're just getting into the very early stages of this storm system. Interesting to look at snowfall totals. You know, the snow only began about 4 or 5 hours ago, and we already have between 3 and 5 inches of snow. So coming down at about 1 inch per hour, and the heaviest of the snow still has yet to move in. That will arrive from the south and southwest here pretty shortly. Winter storm warnings continue through 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. That has not changed. Snowfall amounts also unchanged from our map that we had out over the course of the weekend. The further south and east that you go, southeastern York County, southeastern Lancaster County, closer to 6 to 8 inches of snow here because of sleet cutting down on totals. Now, one thing to think about and consider, obviously a lot of snow coming through. If the sleet is delayed even by 2 or 3 hours, you could certainly tack on a few more inches of snow to your snowfall totals. The overall message, though, is that we're going to get a lot of snow, and things are just getting going across the area. The bullseye, so to speak, the jackpot zone of highest snowfall totals appears to be right through here, Mifflin and Juniata counties, where some spots could see over 1.5 feet of snow before things are all said and done very late tonight. Weather impact alert now all the way into Tuesday, and the storm system, the snow, that's going to be done later on tonight. But the frigid cold temperatures come roaring back into the area tomorrow and into Tuesday. Dangerously cold weather on the way. Wind chills maybe as low as 15 to 20 below. And it's not just going to be through Tuesday. Looking down the road, once we're done with this storm system and initial blast of Arctic air, there's another shot coming in by Thursday and Friday, which will likely be just as cold, maybe even a bit colder once we get to that part of the week. So certainly for today, limit travel. If you don't have to go out, don't. Just let it snow. Watch it snow from outside as you're in your window and just looking outdoors, watching the snow come down, and then go out, shovel it, and plow it and snow blow it later on today as things start to wind down. Here's a look at radar currently as we scan the skies, and we're watching where the deeper blue is right now. Carlisle, Biglerville, Chambersburg, Waynesboro area, Greencastle, Mercersburg, and then east into Gettysburg, and then back north, Huntington, and then as you move east into Abbottstown and Hanover and New Oxford, this deeper blue that is just now coming in from the south and southwest, that is where we're seeing snowfall rates of about 2 inches per hour. So that is now making its way into our southern counties, and that will continue to lift northward. Temperatures right now only around 10. So it's a very cold storm, very light, fluffy snow, but as the winds pick up tomorrow, it's going to blow and drift that snow around. With the breeze that we do have, light breeze, wind chills, they're a factor. 1 below Likens, 2 below in Harrisburg, 5 below is what it feels like right now in Carlisle. And the progression of the snow, again, southwest and northeast, the heavier snowfall rates just starting to move in. We were starting off at about 1 inch per hour. Now those 2 inch per hour rates continue to move off to the north and northeast. Get ready. Snowy day here in central Pennsylvania. We'll be talking a lot about it coming up over the next couple of hours. Gabby and James.
All right, Tony and Jacob, thank you. We're going to check back in with you guys soon. But the snow is causing some dangerous conditions out there on the roads. It's really the rate of the snow coming down that's making it so difficult to keep up. So state leaders are urging you to just stay home if you can.
Our live team coverage continue right now with Fox 43's Robert Stover. He's keeping a close eye on things in Carlisle, Cumberland County for us. And Robert, we need to talk about the bitter cold temperatures too that are making the situation even worse. You've been out in that for quite a while. What are you seeing?
Well, right now we have seen a few snow trucks and snowplows make its way to Harrisburg Pike. Right now we're at a rest stop just off of Interstate 81. We haven't seen too many vehicles go on there or off there. So I think for the most part, people are heeding the warnings of staying inside. You've heard the term when we've been to floodings, turn around, don't drown. Well, I'm going to come up with a new one today. Stay inside, please, or else you might freeze. Somebody please patent that and give me 20% residuals on all merchandise. Now, you've seen most reporters when it comes to weather, maybe they have a meter stick. Well, today I brought a lightsaber with me because I thought, 16-inch blade, we can kind of see how deep the snow is right now. It's nothing too bad out here. I would say maybe 2 to 3 inches on what we're at in Carlisle, Cumberland County right now. But like I said, just take a look at the roads. Barren. Everything but snow. We do have some vehicles, like I said, it's mainly those snow plows and those snow trucks making their way in and out of the area. Now, we have seen some people come visit this rest stop to fill up on gas. Not exactly sure what their destination is, but again, it's one of those situations where if you don't have to leave the house, try not to. We haven't seen any collisions, accidents, people sliding on the roadway. That's not to say it can't happen, especially to you. So if you do have to get on the road, just exercise caution. Make sure you give yourself space between those trucks, those snow plows, pretty much anything on the road right now. Now, that all being said, as of yesterday, we did get some information from the county itself. Now, ahead of today's storm, the Cumberland County Board of Commissioners, they announced a declaration of disaster emergency. And look, we even got a truck behind us right now. I'm going to step out of frame so you can see more of what's going on or what is not going on the road. Now, what that declaration of disaster means is that government buildings like the courthouse and other county facilities, they're going to be closed to the public starting tomorrow, and only essential personnel will be allowed to enter. Now, the declaration allows county officials to purchase needed supplies, employ temporary workers, and enter into contracts and agreements with vendors in an atypical manner. Now, the Cumberland County Department of Public Safety's Emergency Operations Center has been activated, and we're waiting for more information on as the situation plays out this morning. Like I said, we have a few snow vehicles hitting the road right now. That's about as much as we expect to see. Really no guarantee that the roads are going to be clear anytime soon, especially as the snowfall continues. That all being said, we do have an emergency vehicle right now. Oh, what luck is that? Well, hopefully everybody's all right. Again, you've heard the term, turn around, don't drown, stay inside, please. Don't freeze. Our team coverage is going to continue all morning. We'll bring you the latest information from right here in Carlisle. That's all I have for you this half hour, so stick with us as we continue to cover this snowstorm. Live in Carlisle, Cumberland County, Robert Stover, Fox 43 News.
All right, Robert, some sound advice there. You be safe out in the snow. We'll check back in with you soon. Over in York County, you can expect closures and icy conditions near a water main break that happened around West Jackson Street and Jessup Place yesterday.
Yeah, this is really unfortunate. The break left more than 100 people without water. Now, the York Water Company initially expected repairs to be done by 4 a.m. this morning. We do not see the area on the live outage map, so those customers should have their service back on, but you should still expect icy roads, especially right there in that stretch.
And right underneath a bunch of snow, too, so you won't even be able to see it coming. So
exactly.
If you're in that area, take it slow, be safe. Here's some footage from the scene showing water pouring into the streets of York City yesterday. What terrible timing for something like this with how cold it's been. Residents say standing water already started to freeze yesterday, and temperatures only continued to drop overnight.
And fire crews inspected nearby homes for potential electrical hazards while public works crews worked to control the flow and assess the damage. People who live there, and this is right by the college, I said Jessup and Jackson Streets there, they describe what they experienced when this break happened.
I came downstairs to do some laundry, and my neighbor happened to be like on the side porch, and he started knocking on the door. And so I went outside, and obviously I see all this water spewing.
Residents also say water has made its way into some basements, and water pressure also has dropped in the area. Again, service was expected to be restored here for these people at 4 a.m. this morning. Should we get an update? We'll pass it along to you right away.
Absolutely. And with how fast and heavy the snow is falling, it might be tricky for crews to keep the roads clear around the clock. Once again, state officials encouraging people, it's Sunday, just stay home if you can.
Exactly. We have PennDOT spokesperson Fritzy Scheffler on the phone right now with an update on how crews are tackling this storm and where they're focusing their attention. Fritzy, can you hear us? It's James Tully and Gabby Mediak on the desk.
Good morning.
Hey, Fritzy, long time no talk. We've done this quite a bit, haven't we? Let's start here. Talk about conditions on the main thoroughfares right now and how you feel about things and what reports you're getting.
Well, everything is definitely snow covered, snow packed down a significant amount. We've had crews out since midnight and trying to keep the interstates open, even though we've cut commercial traffic and really only passenger vehicles. Emergency responders and essential employees should be out on the interstates and a lot of the secondary routes.
And Fritzy, we did see an accident earlier this morning on I-83 Mount Rose exit. A car spun out. So we are going to show some footage of that to the viewers at home if we do have it. But just advice for drivers. It's a Sunday. They don't really need to be out and about on a day like today, right?
Yeah, I mean, the good thing is that this is happening on a Sunday and churches have canceled or they've gone to online pre-recorded things, so there really is no reason to be out unless you are an essential employee and you have no choice. If you didn't get supplies, most of the stores are closed anyhow.
Exactly. Are you seeing any trouble spots right now in particular?
No, it is really not one spot in particular. It is just widespread. And, you know, you talked about a car spinning out down in Mount Rose. We actually had one of our plows hit in York County this morning. Somebody rear-ended that, which to me is kind of mind-boggling. We're big, we're yellow, got lots of lights. I'm not sure how you miss us.
Yeah.
Fritzy, yeah, that's unfortunate. And again, you got to heed the warnings here. Are conditions so far matching what you guys planned for? Or are you having to adjust for anything here at this hour?
No, this is exactly what we were expecting, and you know, our focus is going to be on the higher priority roads, those that are traveled a lot more once all of this stops. But we do want to assure people every road will get taken care of, but with a 36 to 40 mile average route, it's going to take a couple hours for somebody to get back to the same spot, so we're just asking for patience.
And with the snow continuing to come down, I'm sure it's been tough for you guys to keep up with it.
Right, that's it. Exactly, it is. You know, we can go through, and I'm looking out the window right now, and I know that the plows have been through on my street, but if you look out at it, it really is hard to tell that they were there.
I know, it's so fast.
Fritzy, maybe leave us with this. For anybody out there right now, what's your message to them if they absolutely have to get on the roads and do some traveling today?
Leave yourself plenty of time. Don't just add a couple minutes to your commute. If you have to be out there, add at least a half an hour, maybe an hour to your commute. Expect the unexpected, so constantly be looking to see what's going on ahead of you and around you. And please, please, please slow down.
All right, Fritzy, thank you so much for taking some time to talk to us this morning. We know you're a very busy woman, and we'll be checking back in with you in just a little bit. Thanks again. Stay safe out there.
Thanks.
Just ahead this morning, we are going to continue our snow coverage all day long here on Fox 43 on our Plus app. This is a look at the radar as we head to break, and we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Stay with us.
Up now. He's just gonna get it positioned to where we were. Can you guys hear me okay? Yep, mic check Sedona, 1, 2, 3. Mic check, 1, 2, 3. Mic check Sedona, 1, 2, 3. Mic check, mic check. Do you want me to keep talking? Keep talking, keep talking. 1, 2, 3. Sound okay? Oh, you're fine. You're fine. Where did my yardstick go? What'd you say? Did he call 5? I think he's on 5106. Where did I put the yardstick?
8:18 on your Sunday morning. Welcome back. The snow is piling up across South Central PA, and crews are working hard to salt and clear those roads.
Yeah, absolutely. And so far, we just talked to Fritzie Scheffler in our last break there. She's the spokesperson for PennDOT, telling us that so far everything is what they expected and they're handling it. But she also told us about somebody rear-ending a plow in York County this morning. So that can't happen unless you absolutely have to be on the roads. You shouldn't be.
Give those plows room too if you are out on the roads.
Well, right now we do want to go to our Sedona Meadows. She is live in York County for us, monitoring conditions there. Sedona, just wondering if you see any plows or road crews go by in the last couple of minutes, and so far assessing what you've seen in the last hour or so.
Yeah, guys, so we are actually near the Hampton Inn, just down the road from the station, and we've been overseeing I-83, both north and southbound, and we've actually seen a couple plows come through, but you can see it is very, very quiet right now. We actually haven't seen a lot of cars on the road. We can see one vehicle that's coming down right now. It's just a passenger vehicle just, going on the interstate right now. But again, we said we saw, at least 3 plows come down on the interstate since we've been here. We've kind of been stationed here for about an hour or so. But in terms of the other roadways, we actually saw some other plows coming through. We have seen some independent plows actually coming through this parking lot, several times since we've been here in the last hour. But you can see I saw a plow come through here in this parking lot about 20 minutes ago, and it's already collected so much on the ground. So it doesn't even look like they've been through here because that snow is collecting so fast. Now, I did hear from Jacob earlier, said 3 inches in York County, and I do want to confirm we got the handy dandy yardstick right here with us. And I have been checking, and it has been collecting. We are at about 3 inches right now. This is in a portion of the parking lot that has not been plowed yet, so it's giving a good idea of what we're seeing in terms of the snowfall. But again, 3 inches here in York County, and it has been very, very quiet here on the roadway. Thankfully, like Fritzie had said earlier, please, if you do not have to be out today, please do not come out here because the visibility is not great. We actually did see some vehicles coming onto the exit ramp of I-83 earlier, and then they realized their mistake, had to come through the median to get onto the right way to get onto the interstate. So that is very concerning. That's very dangerous. You do not want to be doing that. So it just shows how hard it is to kind of see some of these lines here on the roadways where things enter, where you exit. So just be very, very careful. Like PennDOT has been saying, if you are having to be out here, be very slow, give yourself lots of time, keep a lot of distance from other vehicles. You definitely do not want to be, riding any vehicles very, very, closely. You don't want to be going super fast. They have reduced the speeds on all these major roadways to 45 miles per hour. So yeah, if you are having to be out here, keeping it slow and steady. And like we said, we have been seeing a few vehicles coming through here. We're definitely feeling the wind on our faces. A lot of that snow is really kind of pelting us in the face here this morning, and it just keeps continuing, as the morning goes on. And now I did want to check this snow because it's not great packing snow. So we're kind of noticing that it has been a little crumbly right here. And even on our way over here when we drove just, a couple miles down the road to this area, there was a little bit of difficulty, turning as we were out on the roadway. So when you are making those turns, if you do have to be out here today, just be very, very careful in your turns as well. So again, Gabby and James, yeah, we are definitely seeing it very quiet right now. Lots of plows that have been coming through. They've been doing their work. Like Fritzie said, they've been out since midnight. So we're going to continue to monitor things here in York County. But for now, live in York County, Sedona Meadows, Fox 43 News.
All right, Sedona, good to hear that the plows are out and about, but you can definitely see that snow coming down very consistently around you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Sedona, just wondering, seeing some drivers out there, wondering if you see anybody else out there with this, with you, and if you're noticing drivers making sure they're doing the right thing. Just anything you've observed here over the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, thankfully, there haven't been a lot of just normal vehicles on the road. I think, we've seen a lot of those plows, those work vehicles, people that have to be out here to make sure that, things remain safe for everyone. We actually see a plow coming through right now. And we do see a ambulance behind them and 2 other vehicles that are just normal passenger vehicles that are coming through. So just in the last 5 minutes, we've actually seen things pick up a little bit more. But like I said earlier, we were noticing some of those vehicles going onto the wrong ramp, so going on the exit ramp versus the, on-ramp, so that's concerning. So clearly they can't see where exactly to even enter onto the interstate right now, so that's something to be mindful of as well.
You can tell from her shot the visibility
Low.
not good at all. Very, very low, especially looking down there on 83.
I know. Well, Sedona, you get in the car, stay warm in between, and we'll check back in with you soon. Thanks for being out there for us.
Good morning, everybody. Snowfall rates so far throughout most of the storm over the last about 5 hours or so has been around 1 inch per hour. Now things are ramping up, and we're seeing some 2 inch per hour rates into portions of southern Franklin, Adams, and York counties, and that will continue to spread north here toward the capital coming up over the next half hour to 45 minutes. Visibility really cut back as that steady snow does continue here in south central PA. Winter storm warnings go until 1 o'clock tomorrow. Storm system continues to unfold across the area this morning, with at times, again, those heftier snowfall rates moving through. A large part of the area from, if you were to draw a line from 78 and 81 and then cut back to the south and southwest. So Franklin County, Cumberland, Lower Dauphin, and into Lebanon County. From there northwestward, widespread amounts of 12 to 16 inches of snow. There will be some isolated spots that get a bit more than that. Now, as you head further south and east, it gets a little more complicated once you're south and east of York and Lancaster because of some sleet that's going to try and mix in later on this afternoon and into this evening. Now, if that gets delayed even by a little bit, these totals would go up. Either way you look at it, you're going to have to do a lot of shoveling, a lot of plowing, a lot of snow removal, and the bottom line is just stay inside. If you don't have to go out and go anywhere, just wait until later tomorrow as conditions start to improve. But again, this is the trickiest part of the snowfall forecast because of sleet mixing in, and that would certainly cut down on totals. The way it looks right now, York to Lancaster looks to be the dividing line between probably double-digit snowfall. From there southeastward, then you start to back off. And once around, let's say, Airville, and then east-northeast to around Gap, likely closer to 7 or 8 inches of snow, and then sleet mixing in. But again, if that changeover gets delayed even a little bit, you would see upwards of 10 to 12 inches. Then north and west, again, it's all snow, and it is going to pile up in a hurry. Statewide, a lot of the entire state of Pennsylvania in 12 to 16, and there will be some spots in here, especially right through the middle part of this pink zone. So Williamsport to Lewistown to Mifflintown, Port Royal, back through State College, over into the Lower Highlands, up toward DuBois and Punxsutawney. Some cases, there will be some reports that come in that maybe as much as 20 inches of snow before things wind down later on tonight. Snow heavy at times throughout the day, 1 to 2 inches per hour throughout much of the storm. Snow and sleet ends tonight. Travel disruptions, closures are likely throughout the evening and the overnight hours. And tomorrow, frigid and the winds pick up from the northwest, and we'll see some blowing and drifting snow. Right now, the winds are light from the east, between 5 and 10 miles per hour. But throughout the day, picking up a little bit, gusting up to about 20. Tomorrow, we gust to 30 to 35, and that will create a lot of blowing and drifting snow. Radar, it's all blue. It's all snow, and at times heavy, especially right now, up to about 30, and the heavier snowfall rates continue to lift off to the north and northeast. And look at all the precip in the pipeline all the way down to Memphis, Tennessee. So we've got a ways to go. Futurecast as we go throughout our storm system here this morning. Snow continues heavy at times, lunchtime. A lot of dark blue across the area, 1 to 2 inches of snow per hour right into the afternoon. Later on, again, southeastern York and Lancaster counties could have some sleet mixing in. That's the area where we could see some slightly lower totals, but overall a sizable storm for everybody. And then things start to wind down later on tonight. Will end as lighter snow showers by midnight. Then tomorrow, clouds, some sunshine, but the winds pick up, blowing and drifting snow. 20 for a high, going down to 1 tomorrow night. Tuesday morning, temperatures will be again around 1 to 2 above. Winds gusting up to 30. Wind chills Tuesday morning as low as 20 below and a high only of 18. And it stays frigid all the way through the week. And again, another blast of cold air Thursday and also into Friday. We'll be right back.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 81 to my left, Turnpike to my right. We're off Harrisburg Pike right.
All right, welcome back to Fox 43's coverage of this snowstorm here on this Sunday morning. We have team coverage for you. We have our reporters in York and Lancaster right now, Jacob and Tony, and our weather team standing by to talk about all things happening and go through this with you.
It is certainly going to be a busy one, but we've got you covered as we track this storm. We'll let our reporters warm up for a second as we check in first with our Jacob Hitz, who's going to help get you out the door if you need to, but probably a good idea to stay inside if you can, Jacob.
All right, and before we talk to Jacob, we're going to take a live look right now at Lewistown. This is Mifflin County. Our weather team, Tony and Jacob, telling us that this is an area expected to get some of the highest accumulations in our area. So we want to keep an eye on Lewistown. This is a good bit north of our studios here in York County. As you can see, it's a whiteout. We have visibility very, very low, and that snow is beginning to pile up. Hello and good morning, everybody. Thanks so much for being with us here for this special coverage. I'm James Tully.
And I'm Gabrielle Mediak. We appreciate you being here and hopefully being safe and warm inside.
Right.
Our Jacob Hitz is here with all the details on what we're seeing right now. Jacob.
Yeah, in Lewistown, you look at the last about 8 hours or so, that's when snow really started to fall. And we pulled a time lapse up. Hopefully we'll be able to show that in the next little bit, that you could see where plow goes through, immediately snow right back over top of where they plowed. It is one of those types of days, and obviously with cold weather on top of that, that's not helping things.
Of course.
Snow falls and it's just sticking right away. It's going to make it pretty difficult to get this off the roadways.
I just want to add, we checked in with our reporters in the last half hour, and we're seeing the accumulation. It's rising quickly.
We certainly are, and it's tough for PennDOT to keep up with the snow because it's coming down so quickly.
There are only so many plows out there that can cover so much real estate at one time. And we'll take not a live look, but a look again at that Lancaster County time lapse. This started at 8:30 last night. Snow started for most of us as we got to around midnight and after, and you can see how that visibility starts to drop a little bit. The snow starts to pile up relatively quickly, and then daybreak here is 8:30 out there this morning, and you can see the snow just about everywhere out on the fields. Right now, though, temperatures well below freezing. It is 10 degrees still in Lancaster. Feels like now -6 thanks to winds anywhere from 10 to 15 miles an hour. And these winds going to pick up, especially as we get to tomorrow, and that's going to lead to some more of that blowing snow. So once PennDOT gets the snow off the roadways, that's fine, but we'll have the risk of snow blowing back out onto the roadways. Again, last check at snowfall so far, the winner so far in our area, Hershey at 4 inches, Manheim coming in just under 4 at 3.8. Similar story in Palmyra and Mechanicsburg, just under 3.5. York right here at the station. I know Sedona measured in our last break as well. 3 inches here in York this morning. All of these numbers going to go up as we go throughout the day. And again, look at the roadways this morning. Things are pretty snow covered from Mifflintown to 81 at US 11, the South Bridge to the Wrights Ferry Bridge. You actually can see a plow in the South Bridge camera. If you look just a little further down the road, plow headed toward the South Bridge this morning. So obviously those plow crews going to be hard at work trying to make these roads as passable as possible. But the key point, Tony, as we turn to you, is again, if you have to go anywhere, probably shouldn't. It's just one of those days that you're going to want to stay inside. And a similar story as well as we get to tomorrow with the shot of colder air on the way as well.
That's right. And, Jacob, it's cold enough now. It's a very fluffy snow, so it's not snowman snow. It's not good snow for snowballs. Pretty good for sled riding, though. It's just a shame it's so cold for the kids to go out, and try and enjoy this big snow day. I'm sure a lot of schools will be delayed or closed tomorrow. But it's going to be so cold into Monday and also Tuesday. Again, traffic-wise this morning, lots of snow covered and slippery roads. Snowfall rates of 1 to 2 inches per hour. Winter storm warnings continue all over south central Pennsylvania through 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Snowfall expectations have not changed really all that much since the end of last week. 12 to 16, roughly from 78 and 81 northwestward. There will be spots that get more than that. Localized amounts could go to 18 to 20, especially throughout Mifflin and Juniata counties, where it looks like it will stay predominantly snow, 100% snow throughout the entire storm, and also where some of the heavier rates will try and set up. Now, further off to the south and southeast, certainly not a dud from Carlisle to Harrisburg to Lebanon with 12 to 16 inches of snow on the way. It's just that here is where some of the slightly higher totals will end up. And again, 18, maybe 20 inches of snow can't be ruled out here in parts of central Pennsylvania. Now, further south and southeast, sleet complicates things. York to Lancaster counties, both counties, even potentially southern and southeastern parts of Adams County, where sleet could mix in at times. Lower totals between 6 to 12 inches. Still a lot of snow that will be falling. Now, if the sleet gets delayed, even by 2 or 3 hours, that's another 3 to 5 inches of snow. So you would tack that onto this. So tricky call here, either way you look at it. Lots of snow, lots of wintry weather coming down. Today through Tuesday, weather impact alert, significant amounts of snow, a lot of blowing and drifting snow tomorrow, and then sub-zero wind chills, maybe as low as 15 to 20 below Monday night into Tuesday morning, and that frostbite risk will be very, very high as we head into early Tuesday. It's high out there now with wind chills around 0 to 5 below. We're all socked in with the blue, plenty of snow falling, and the heavier rates now getting up very close to the turnpike. Those 2 inch per hour rates, and everything will continue to move from southwest to northeast throughout the morning.
Thank you, Tony, and thank you, Jacob, too. We appreciate the team coverage, and we're going to check back in on you in just a little bit. But we're going to head back outdoors where the snow is causing some dangerous conditions on the road, and state leaders are asking you to just stay home if you can.
Our live team coverage now continues with Fox 43's Robert Stover, keeping a close eye on things in Carlisle right now, Cumberland County. And Robert, it's the bitter cold temperatures, too, that we need to talk about a lot because it's making the situation even worse. Talk about what you're seeing here and what you've seen in the last half hour.
Well, we haven't seen that many changes within the past 30 minutes or so, but, Jacob made a very accurate observation when it comes to PennDOT crews on the road. We have seen trucks on Harrisburg Pike trying to move that snow, and whatever material they do move, literally minutes later, it's covered back on. So efforts are as best as they can right now, and the snowfall has been a little bit variable just in terms of what direction the wind is blowing. Like right now, I'm getting a break from it blowing in my face, but now it's starting back up again, so I can definitely feel it. Right now we're at a rest stop kind of sandwiched in between Interstate 81 and the Pennsylvania Turnpike. We are at a rest stop. We have seen some vehicles come in to get gas, but it's one of those situations where unless you absolutely have to leave your home, try not to get out on the road at all. Again, I'm going to start this new saying and try to make it a thing. Stay inside, please, or else you might freeze. It's because of those road hazards and even just the hazard of even walking out in the snow that the Cumberland County Board of Commissioners announced a declaration of disaster emergency. We're going to pan more to the street so you can see what some of the conditions are right now. We even have somebody waiting at a rest light just across the street. Now, what that declaration of disaster emergency means is that government buildings like the courthouse and other county facilities, they're going to be closed to the public starting tomorrow, and only essential personnel will be allowed to enter. Now, the declaration allows county officials to purchase needed supplies, employ temporary workers, and enter into contracts and agreements with vendors in sort of an atypical fashion, not the norm, because this is a very extreme circumstance. Now, the Cumberland County Department of Public Safety Emergency Operations Center, it's been activated, and we are waiting for more information as the situation plays out. Again, we have seen some vehicles on the road, including, CDL drivers like that person right there. We're just continuing to monitor the road, and conditions really haven't improved too much within the past 30 minutes. So again, you're going to hear us say it all morning, and that's because it rings true. Try to stay inside if you can. Don't get on the road unless you absolutely have to, especially with these sub-zero temperatures. Even if you live like within the city, downtown Carlisle is about 15 minutes that way. It might not be the best to even suit up and try walking around in. And if you do, just make sure you have your gloves, maybe some padded pants, some snow boots to keep all the water and other moistures out. It's just one of those situations where you just want to stay inside for most of your day. We're going to continue our team coverage pretty much all morning, so stick with us on air and online at fox43.com. Live in Carlisle, Cumberland County, Robert Stover, Fox 43 News.
Hey, Rob, just taking a look at a couple of vehicles behind you moving along at a pretty decent clip, I'd say. Do you want to talk a little bit about the difference you see between the main drag, the main thoroughfare there behind you, and maybe some side roads? Can you see if there's any kind of major difference between the conditions of either one?
There's definitely some differences between, we have a side road on Alvine Pike, I believe, Ivon Road right next to us, where you can enter in through the rest stop from. We can't pan to that just because we're under a tarp right now, and there's some gas pumps to our left there. That road is definitely more covered in snow than Harrisburg Pike, just in really in comparing the two right now. So definitely those back roads, those side roads, even some of those alleys, if you are within a city right now, are probably not going to see the most attention compared to your turnpike, your interstate, or even your main road like the one right behind us here. So just exercise caution if you do have to get out on the road for whatever reason.
All to be expected, but certainly
yeah.
something to keep an eye on.
And Robert, that snow's still coming down at a pretty good clip. Visibility seems very low. It looks like there's a building behind you, but you can barely see it out there.
I really can't see it.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Stay warm. We'll check back in with you soon.
And that snow continues to come down at a heavy clip. In fact, as we go throughout the course of the morning, take some pictures of your snow measurements where you are. Send them in to us, fox43.com, or if you have our Fox 43 app, you can go onto there and use the Near Me feature and send those photos in. We want to see what these snowfall amounts are at your place as we go throughout the next several hours. It will change quite a bit. You'll notice between now and 11 o'clock, a couple of inches of snow will pile up. 11 to 1 o'clock, several more inches of snow will pile up. And again, if you get the opportunity, take some pictures throughout the course of the storm and send them in to us. Snow continues to move from southwest to northeast, a lot of darker blue in place, which means heavier snowfall rates and plenty in the pipeline. Notice the heavier precipitation all the way down into Tennessee, and it is all moving off to the north and northeast. Our temperatures right now are only around 10, so certainly cold enough for all snow. And the mix line, not really making much progress off to the north. It's sitting across parts of West Virginia. You notice most of Virginia is in blue or purple, which means the sleet still many hours away. So this will stay predominantly snow coming up it looks like for at least the next 6 or 7 hours, and then eventually we'll start to see some sleet mixing in across parts of York and also Lancaster counties. At that point, though, a lot of snow will be on the ground. Around 10 now, we'll only make it into the mid to upper teens later this evening and into tonight as the storm winds down.
And as we've been mentioning throughout the morning, the snow piling up across south central PA, and crews are working hard to salt and clear those roads.
So let's check in with Fox 43 Sedona Meadows now, taking a look in York Township, York County, monitoring conditions there. Sedona, still seeing a good bit of plows, road crews going by where you are?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We actually have been seeing some independent plows that have been coming through the parking lot that we're in right now. We're near the Hampton Inn, the Parantes parking lot. So they have been working here in the parking lot, but we have seen some PennDOT crews out here on the interstate. We've been overlooking I-83 north and south. And the good thing is that we haven't seen a lot of just regular vehicles out here this morning, so a lot of them have been staying home, staying inside. That's the best thing that you can do right now. Like I said, there's that independent snowplow kind of coming through right now. But yeah, it's been very, very quiet as we've been overlooking I-83. But you know, we know from Fritzy, she said that PennDOT you know, has been out here since midnight. So they've been working hard to clear the roads. But it is wild to see just in this parking lot, we've seen, like I said, several plows coming through, and then just in that last like 30 minutes, it just collects again. So it's pretty intense that we're seeing just such a collection right now. And I do want to check in, you know, just in the last 30 minutes, we did check, it was at 3 inches. So we're going to check now and see where we're at. It does look like it's coming closer to like 3.5 now. So we are seeing that collect here in this portion, this untouched portion. You know, obviously we see a lot of the snow collecting in areas where the plows have been coming through too. But we do want to try something here. So we're going to see how the snow kind of collects over time. So I do have some food coloring. We're gonna spell out Fox 43 and see over time how it looks. And I'm not doing very well with my spelling right now. So we're gonna try this and just check in later on this jumbled up mess. It's supposed to say Fox 43, it does not. But we're gonna check in and see how much the snow collects over this blue food coloring right here. But thankfully, like we said, you know, these crews have been working really, really hard this morning. We definitely don't wanna see people out here if they don't have to be. But if you are having to take the roads this morning, you know, take it slow. The visibility is definitely not great. We've seen a lot of snow just continue to collect over the last hour and a half that we've been watching things. So we actually also saw some vehicles coming onto the exit ramp of I-83 instead of, you know, the on-ramp that they needed to be on, and then they would realize their mistake and go across the median. So that is very unsafe. You definitely want to make sure that you maintain some distance, understand where you are in the roadway. So yeah, we've been continuing to watch this, monitor this, and we will continue to keep you updated. And we will check back in on this food coloring. So, but for now, live in York County, Sedona Meadows, Fox 43 News.
Don't worry, Sedona. We're not going to critique your handwriting skills this morning. Don't worry about it. We know where you are there. You're right there at Primanti Brothers. You can see it off the Queen Street exit there coming up 83. Just curious, you do have a bird's eye view of 83 right now. We're watching some vehicles go through as you talk to us. They seem to not be having any problems. Are you observing anybody doing something they shouldn't be doing? Or so far, what you're seeing, are you seeing people move through okay?
Yeah, I think, you know, thankfully, like I said, like we see a couple vehicles going through right now. It looks like they're all doing a really good job of maintaining their distance from each other, taking it fairly slow. We do know that, you know, we have some reduced speeds on these major roadways right now, so 45 miles per hour, but you just want to keep to the speed of the conditions at the moment. So if it's really low visibility, you want to make sure that you're taking it really slow. But thankfully, yeah, we're seeing those people keeping some distance and not, you know, riding too close to each other. So that's the main thing, is you want to make sure that you're keeping that distance. So thankfully, we are seeing people that are, you know, acting appropriate in this weather if they are having to be out here. But like I said earlier, like just seeing the fact that some vehicles got onto the exit ramp when they were supposed to be on the on-ramp, and then that's caused some concerns there too. So we're definitely going to be monitoring that as well.
And the reason I ask that too, because PennDOT has a Tier 4 happening right now, which means you've got cars, trucks, emergency responders, the only ones that allowed on the roadways. If you absolutely have to get out and travel today, I just want to keep an eye on how the major thoroughfare is handling things.
Right.
That way we know that if it actually is passable, Gabby. That's really important.
Exactly. And Sedona, it is good to see that there aren't many cars out there. Like we said, it is a Sunday, so if you can just stay home if you can.
That's right.
Thanks so much. We'll check back in on you soon.
Well, anywhere between 3 to as much as 5 inches of snow already on the ground here with our storm, and we're only about 4 to 5 hours into it, and we still have about another, looks like 10 hours of steadier, heavier snow to contend with until things start to back off later on this evening. 12 to 16 inches of snow for much of Pennsylvania, Chambersburg to Carlisle to Harrisburg to Lebanon, from there northwestward, and there will be spots to pick up over that. Some areas will come in with 18 to 20 before things are all said and done. Now, further south and east, Gettysburg, York, Lancaster, 6 to 12. Likely closer to the 10 to 12 inch amounts. However, extreme southeastern parts of Lancaster County, some sleet will try to mix in and will likely cut down your totals, likely closer to about 6 to 8 inches of snow. But if that sleet gets delayed, even by a couple of hours, you'll see 10 to 12 inches of snow as well. Either way you look at it, lots of snow coming through, maybe some ice mixing in south and east of Harrisburg. Weather headlines: snow, heavy at times, 1 to 2 inch per hour rates right through the afternoon. Everything starts to wind down tonight, but travel disruptions, closures will continue into the overnight through tomorrow, because on Monday, the winds pick up from the northwest. A lot of blowing and drifting of snow is likely throughout the day. Winds currently easterly, 5 to 10, up to 14 in Lancaster. Throughout the day, gusting up to 20 to 25. Now tomorrow, gusting 30 to 35 from the northwest. That will produce a lot of blowing and drifting snow, and then those winds will back off a little bit into Wednesday. Wednesday's probably going to be the best day of the week because we're going to have the lightest winds. Temperatures are still going to be very cold, but it looks like Monday night, Tuesday morning, we're going to have wind chills anywhere between 10 to 20 below zero with those gusty winds. Temperatures now sitting a few degrees either side of 10. Snow continues to fly. It's light, it's fluffy snow, and again, it's going to blow and drift around at will as we head into the overnight and especially into Monday. Look at all the heavy precip in the pipeline here, moving off to the north and northeast. So we've got, again, a ways to go until things start to wind down. Futurecast over the next several hours: 9 o'clock, snow, heavy at times, lunchtime, another 3 hours forward. Really no change in the area. At times, some sleet will try and mix in south and east of York and Lancaster. And again, that's where those slightly lower totals will be. And then towards 6 o'clock, we start to get closer to the tail end of this storm system, and sleet becomes a little bit more widespread. South and east of 30, it looks like, heading into the evening hours. And then everything starts to really wind down by 9 o'clock. A few patchy leftover snow showers as we get to that point. Weather impact alert all the way into the early part of next week. Blowing snow, a problem tomorrow. And then Tuesday morning, wind chills will be as low as 10 to 20 below zero.
8:54, welcome back. With extreme cold temperatures hitting South Central PA, keeping your car in good shape is extra important. Experts are telling drivers to prepare their vehicles for cold weather by slowing down, checking their tire pressure, their fluids, their antifreeze, and of course the wiper blades. They also advise to let your car run a couple of minutes to warm up before you're leaving if you have to go out today, and that will help allow your engine to run more smoothly.
When oil gets really cold, it's thick. Usually your oil pressure is a little higher when it's cold. As the oil thins out, it starts to be more lubricant. It gets into all the tighter spots in the engine and whatnot. So if you get in the vehicle, start it up, drop it in gear, nothing's properly lubricated. So just sitting there letting it idle for like 5 minutes is fine.
Experts also emphasize the importance of having essentials like a blanket, pillow, shovel in your car, of course, in case of an emergency. Also this morning, for those staying at home, which we all should be if we can, the weather is putting more of a strain on our home plumbing and heating systems all across South Central PA. Home contractors say they're getting more repair calls to fix up broken pipes, broken HVAC systems, and contractors say you can prevent the issue by using insulated tape on exposed lines and pipes, and then also letting your faucet drip. Experts also say changing your HVAC filters and scheduling regular maintenance can help keep the heat and water in your home going amid those freezing temps.
By keeping your system clean and the filters clean, you can not have a visit from me.
Contractors also recommend clearing off any snow from your HVAC ventilation pipe to prevent a breakdown of your heating and your plumbing systems. We're giving you another live look at the radar, what we can expect throughout the morning today and what we've seen so far. Our team has got you covered. We'll be with you live all day long right here on Fox 43. Stick around.
Yeah, Ben said need you soonish.
The storm has arrived and snow continues falling across south central PA.
We'll have live team coverage for you throughout the morning. Meteorologists Tony Martin and Jacob Hitz are standing by.
Plus, our Robert Stover is monitoring conditions in Cumberland County, and our Sedona Meadows is live in York County. Fox 43 Morning News at 9, a special edition, starts right now. Thanks for joining us on this Sunday morning. I'm Gabrielle Mediak.
And good morning, everybody. I'm James Tully. The storm is here, the snow piling up, frigid temperatures right behind it, impacting not just south central Pennsylvania, Gabby, but this storm impacting more than half the United States.
And it's been quite some time since right here at home we've experienced anything like this.
Absolutely is. We have meteorologists Tony Martin and Jacob Hitz both watching the storm's path for us. Our team coverage is going to start with Jacob, who has a look at what's currently happening. Nothing unexpected to this point, Jacob.
No, and this is, like you said, pretty much what we expected. Some of the heaviest snowfall coming now. Snowfall rates will start to slow down as we get to the afternoon. That could open up the window for some sleet in some of our southern spots as well. And that's what we've been talking about over these last couple of days, where exactly that sleet line comes up, how far north does it go. But your best bet, the further north and west you are, that's your best bet of picking up the most snow once this is said and done.
Of course. And just stay home if you can. We've been saying it all morning long, but if you do have to go out, well, we have a bunch of reminders for you coming up.
We certainly do. First thing, before we send it over to you, take lots of time. Allow lots of time. Our reporters are out there looking at current conditions to give you a look at that if you absolutely have to travel today.
It's going to be a busy one out there for those PennDOT crews especially.
Yes.
I know we were talking with Fritzy in our last hour. She said that they already had a plow truck reported get hit in York County, which is just mind-boggling.
Yes, it is.
You're not supposed to be right behind those plows to begin with.
Give them all the space they need.
Oh my gosh,
Correct.
especially on a day like today.
Correct. And again, the messaging still stands. If you don't have to be outside, don't. It's that simple. This is a live look over Harrisburg. Let's backtrack a little bit. This is our Lewistown Skycam time lapse. Starting at around midnight or so, the snow is falling shortly thereafter. And as we got to around 8:15, 8:30 or so, you can even see down underneath where plow trucks go through and leave a path, and then the path gets filled right back up again. Visibility, though, pretty bad for most spots out there. We'll go back to Harrisburg this morning, where you can barely see the state capitol, with visibility anywhere from a half mile or less for most of us as the snowfall continues to come down across the area. Latest reports for snowfall so far: New Bloomfield and Perry County coming in at our highest right now at 5 inches. Manheim a little under 4 inches. Of course, we have reports in Hershey and Harrisburg and Dauphin County of around 4 inches so far, and these rates are only going to go up as we go through the rest of the day. York bottoming out at 3. I know Sedona, when she last checked, it was around 3.5 over down the street. Some technical issues there from PennDOT this morning, but some spots that we can see from Mifflintown and 81 at US 11. Lots of snow-covered roadways out there, and very few people out there. Of course, that winter weather warning, or that winter storm warning, lasting all morning and into tomorrow. We'll turn things over to Tony now to talk about what to expect as we go through the rest of today and into tomorrow. And Tony, obviously those bitter cold temperatures, right now temperatures in the teens and single digits, feels like below zero. That's not changing anytime soon, and that's not going to help the cleanup efforts with this snow, especially when the winds kick back in tomorrow.
Yeah, Jacob, it's so cold. It's a very dry, fluffy snow. So if you're shoveling over the next couple of hours and you go out there, it's very easy to move. That's the only good thing about it, is it is easy to shovel and lift and get it off of your driveway and off of your sidewalk. The problem is things are going to continue to pile up over the next 8 to 10 hours, and then the winds are going to pick up from the northwest during the day tomorrow. So think about it, how easy it is for us to shovel it, how easy it will be for the wind to push it around as it picks up during the day. We'll see a lot of blowing and drifting snow, it looks like, tomorrow behind the storm. Everybody under a winter storm warning through 1 o'clock tomorrow. Snowfall expectations really not changing all that much since the end of last week when we put out our first snowfall map. The area sort of bisected northwest to southeast. Now, this does include the expectation of sleet to cut down on snowfall amounts across York and Lancaster counties especially, and likely closer to 6 to 9 inches of snow here. Now, if the sleet gets delayed even by a couple of hours, you'll see 10 to 14 inches of snow. But again, we're counting on some sleet to come in and cut down on snowfall totals, but it's just going to make things worse as far as traveling and trying to remove the snow because you throw some of that heavier sleet down into the mix. Either way you look at it, we've got a lot of digging out and cleaning up to do later on today and into tomorrow. Weather impact alert today through Tuesday. Today because of the storm, tomorrow because of the blowing snow, Tuesday morning because of wind chills as low as 10 to 20 below. Out the door early Tuesday. Here's a look at radar as we scan the skies, and again, a lot of dark blue all the way up now to about 81 and 78. Where you're seeing the deepest blue, that's where snowfall rates are about 2 inches per hour. North of there, around 1 inch per hour into Lewistown right now, Mifflintown to Lykens to Lebanon. But then south of there, it is really coming down fast and furious, and that's going to continue over the next several hours. Heaviest rates have been moving through Franklin, Adams, and York counties over the last hour to an hour and a half. And with 2 inch per hour rates, you've picked up since 8 o'clock another 2 to 3.5 inches of snow. And it is just so cold. So even for the kids to go out and enjoy it, you can't build a snowman with this snow. It's too powdery. It's like powdered sugar. But as temperatures do come up a little bit as we go into the middle part of the week, maybe doing some sled riding, I'm sure kids will be out there tomorrow no matter what because, hey, these deep snowfalls, they don't happen a whole lot, it seems, here in our part of the world anymore. 10 right now in York, 10 in Harrisburg, 10 also in Carlisle. With a light breeze from the east, it feels right now like it's a few degrees either side of zero, and we'll only make it later on today into the mid to upper teens for a daytime high. In the pipeline, what's still to come? Plenty of moisture off to the south and southwest, a lot of heavier rain and snow moving northeastern into our bitterly cold air mass right now, where we're only sitting at around 10 degrees.
All right, Tony, thank you, and thank you, Jacob, too. We're going to check back in with both of you soon. But the snow out there causing some dangerous conditions on the road. State leaders urging people to just stay home if they can.
Absolutely. Our live team coverage continues right now with Robert Stover. He's keeping a close eye on things in Carlisle, Cumberland County for us. And Robert, you've been talking about the bitter cold temperatures making the situation even worse. Visibility seems to be degrading a little bit behind you from the last time we talked. Catch us up.
Yeah, I have to say it's a little bit ironic. So we started our day around 4 o'clock this morning, so before even the sun came up. Now that the sun is pretty much up, visibility hasn't gotten that much better, and we think that's from the wind itself just carrying the snow and blowing it in every which way direction. Right now we're at a rest stop just off the turnpike and sort of in between Interstate 81 right now, and we have seen some traffic come by us over the past few hours. We've seen larger commercial vehicles, and then we've seen, regular pedestrian vehicles, and we've also seen those PennDOT snow plows and even some other commercial snow plows just making their way through the area. But as you can see behind me, not that much of a difference. Whatever plow or truck does come through, the snow just buries it over once again. Haven't been able to get pretty much an exact measurement of the snowfall just yet, but it's somewhere around 3 to 4 inches from last time we checked, and I can only imagine it's just going to continue. It's because of those poor roadway conditions and just the fact of how cold it is, along with the snowfall, the wind chill, that the Cumberland County Board of Commissioners announced a declaration of disaster emergency. They announced that yesterday. Now what that means is government buildings like the courthouse and other county facilities, they're going to be closed to the public tomorrow, and only essential workers will be allowed to enter. Now that declaration allows county county officials to purchase needed supplies, employ temporary workers, and enter into contracts and agreements with vendors in an atypical fashion, something that they wouldn't typically do unless you have an extreme circumstance like this. Now, the county's Department of Public Safety's Emergency Operations Center, they have been activated, and we're just keeping an eye out for any updates from county officials and those workers online. So as soon as we have more up to date, the latest information, we'll provide that to you on air and online at fox43.com. But because the conditions really haven't improved over the past hour or even half hour for that matter, you're going to hear us repeat it over and over and over again from us this morning. Try not to get onto the road unless you absolutely have to. If you do, maybe try to find a vehicle that does have that four-wheel drive. If you encounter other vehicles, maintain a safe distance just in case one of them might drift, especially if you're behind a PennDOT truck or pretty much any snowplow truck. Make sure you give them enough distance so they can clear that roadway for you. Again, unless you absolutely necessary have to get onto the road there. We'll continue to monitor the scene here and provide updates as they become available, so stick with us for our team coverage throughout the rest of the morning. Live in Carlisle, Cumberland County, Robert Stover, Fox 43 News.
So Robert, obviously you're the one out in the elements. It's a little tough for us to see in the studio, but how is the visibility? Has it improved over the last several hours, or is it getting better or worse? What are you seeing out there?
I think visibility is going to depend on which direction that you're driving in. From my point of view, the snow and the wind is blowing from my left right now. So I would say if you're heading this way on Harrisburg Turnpike, your visibility is going to be a lot more poor. However, if you're heading toward downtown Carlisle, it might be a little bit better because the wind is blowing against the back of your vehicle. That all being said, whichever direction you're in, the wind can change literally on the drop of a hat. So visibility is going to be poor no matter which direction you're on. So I would keep that in mind if you do plan on traveling on the road at all this morning.
All right, Robert Stover and Carlisle for us. We'll be checking back in. Thanks, Rob.
Well, firefighters, they were called out in the snow this morning for a fire in York County. Our crew couldn't get too close to where that fire happened, but this is what we could see in Glen Rock. Snow covered the streets there, and burro and plow trucks, they are working to clear the way. We're told this was a house, and it was a fire that spread in that house all the way to a barn on Hanover Street just before 5 o'clock this morning. Several dogs were inside of the home at the time, and the fire chief says incidents like this is why people should just stay home today.
It's super important because not only are you putting yourself at risk, you're putting other people, responders. With the weather, it takes us longer to get to you. It's very important. So weather like this, stay inside, relax, enjoy the comfort of home.
Exactly. Not only for your own safety, but also for the EMS crews just like this, trying to get out and do their thing and help others. Now, one person was hurt in this fire, but they are expected to be okay. 9:14 on your Sunday morning, we're taking a live look at the radar. Both of our meteorologists here letting you know what you need to know. We've got crews out in the field, and we are live with you all morning long right here on Fox 43. We'll be right back.
Mic check 1 2 3. Mic check Sedona. I am being pelted in the face. Mic check 1 2 3. Mic check.
9:17 on your Sunday morning. Welcome back. That snow piling up across south central PA, and crews, they're working hard to salt them and clear them.
But it's been pretty unavoidable to not have snow-covered roads everywhere you look this morning. Let's check in with Fox 43 Sedona Meadows. She's live in York Forest monitoring conditions there. Sedona, you're right near the Primanti brothers there, so you got a pretty good bird's eye view of I-83. Fill us in with what you've seen here in the last couple of minutes.
It'd be a nice time to have a nice warm sandwich right now.
Wouldn't it?
But yeah, we actually, we are by the Hampton Inn as well. And we are in this little section that's been untouched. So I do want to show you what we're seeing in terms of the snowfall reading here on the inches. So it looks to be, we're about 4.5 in this section right here, almost 5. It looks like it's getting close to that 5-inch mark. So it has definitely been collecting and collecting fast this morning. In terms of people out on the roadways, we have seen a lot of plows coming here on I-83 north and south, both ways. They have been working hard this morning to just make sure that that interstate is clear. And thankfully, we haven't, seen too many vehicles out. We actually are seeing one truck right now carrying 2 other vehicles. So that is definitely a sight to see. But thankfully, again, like we said, there's not a lot of vehicles that are out on the roadway. What's normally a very busy interstate is very quiet right now. It's kind of nice and peaceful to hear that snowfall. But yeah, thankfully, they have been working hard. We know, according to PennDOT, they've been out since midnight to just make sure all of those roadways are, fairly safe for people if they do have to be on the roadways. We do know that there are some, reduced speeds here on those major roadways. So 45 miles per hour, really, it's the biggest thing is just making sure that if you do have to be out there, just keeping with the pace of what the storm is looking like. It does seem like visibility is getting worse as the morning does go on. And we've been seeing, like I said, that collection of that snow. Thankfully, yeah, we're seeing more vehicles coming here onto that exit ramp and onto the interstate, and they're taking it slow, which is the best thing. And I do want to show you, so in the last 30 minutes, we did create a masterpiece of food coloring. You could barely see the blue now. It was supposed to say Fox 43. It was just a jumbled up mess. But like I said, you can't even see the blue now. It's very faint. So you can just see how quickly that snow is collecting here in the area. And like you saw earlier, it's close to that 5-inch mark in that untouched area. So yeah, we're seeing quite a bit of, totals here in York County. So we're going to continue to monitor this. Thankfully, we haven't seen, like I said, too many vehicles out on the roadway. They're staying home, which is the main thing. If you don't have to be out here, don't be. So Gabby, James, look how quiet the interstate is right now. This is typically such a busy roadway. So it's good to see not too many people out right now, because you definitely don't want to be.
Yeah, Sedona, completely agree. And although we both study communications out here, we can do some quick math to see that we're getting about almost 2 inches an hour at her spot where she is of snow accumulation. Hey, Sedona, we want to just ask you if there's anything you're seeing that concerns you with drivers or anything you've seen popping out. We want to again remind people PennDOT has a Tier 4 vehicle restriction plan right now happening, which means cars, trucks, emergency responders, that's it. Earlier you showed us a trailer hauling something.
Right.
They're not allowed on the roads this morning. Anything else you're seeing?
Yeah, earlier when we had gotten here a couple hours ago, we were seeing some vehicles that were, entering the exit ramp. So you can't see that very well in terms of getting onto the actual interstate. So that's something you got to be really mindful of, is making sure that you are entering on the proper ramp, making sure that you're not on the exit ramp, because that's extremely dangerous. So they were kind of crossing the median to get back onto the right way. But you can just see like that on ramp, like that visibility, that turn can be a little dangerous there. So I know when we were driving too, just making those turns, taking it slow, we were feeling those back wheels kind of slippery too. So it's definitely picking up, and something you got to be mindful of if you are on the roadway and making those turns.
All right, Sedona, thank you so much. Good to see that people, for the most part, are at least adhering to the conditions, driving slower, because they're only supposed to be going 45 right now. We'll check back in with you soon. Thanks so much for being out there.
And to echo some of the conditions out on the roadways, the drive in just before 6 o'clock this morning for Tony and myself as we turned into the parking lot for the station. Car did kick out a little bit. It almost felt like a dirt car, except kicked out the wrong direction. those are the conditions that we're going to have throughout the rest of the day and even into part of tomorrow. This live look over Harrisburg, visibility has improved a little bit, and you talked as well about the how fast the snow has been falling, anywhere from 1 inch to 2 inches per hour. This is what we have expected throughout this morning run with the snow, is that we'd get rates of 1 inch or 2 per hour as that snow keeps falling. This is the heaviest that this snow will be as we go throughout the day today. Right now, 10 degrees in Harrisburg, feels like 0 because of the wind. Definitely a chilly one out there. That winter storm warning for everybody. This lasts until 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Obviously, with the snowfall today, things will wrap up as we get to tonight. Behind the snow, the winds will pick up, and that could allow for some of that snow. Of course, this is the light, fluffy stuff to flow back out onto the roadway thanks to the winds. So snow totals for our entire area, again, best chance for 12 to 16 essentially to the north and to the west of I-81 and I-78. So northern Lebanon, northern Dauphin counties, the northern half of Carlisle back up to Perry, Mifflin, Juniata, and then most of Franklin County as well. 6 to 12 range for the rest of us, and this is all dependent on that snow mix line where we could see some sleet try and mix in as we get to the afternoon. Talked about visibility as well with Robert a little bit ago, down to a quarter mile for just about everybody. It's the same shade of gray all the way throughout. The lone exception right now is Chambersburg with visibility at 3/4 of a mile. So visibility is very, very rough out there. Here are temperatures: 8 in Likens, 9 in Lewistown, 10s across the board for everybody else. The lone exception here, Chambersburg at 12. Satellite and radar still showing those darker purples and blues. That's the heaviest snow that is working its way through the area. Obviously with our key there, the white on our map. Snow lighter, the darker the color gets. That's the heavier snow. Another band working its way right now up the Mason-Dixon line towards Gettysburg and towards York, headed to Route 30. So another band of heavier snow is on the way, and this pattern will continue as we go through the rest of the day today. There is some warmer air off to our south, and that's where we're starting to get some of that mix, that sleet and freezing rain that we've been talking about. Plain rain the further south that you go, but some of these spots have already seen some sleet and some freezing rain. Wind speeds right now anywhere from 5 to 10 miles an hour. Winds are going to pick up as we go through the rest of today and into tomorrow, gusting up to around 20 to 25 miles an hour. Winds die down briefly overnight tonight. They are back tomorrow afternoon, gusting up to around 30 miles an hour. That is going to be what causes that snow to kick out back out onto the roadway. So even though PennDOT's going to be doing the best they can across the roads, not everything is going to be in perfect shape, even as we get to tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. Cold temperatures and the winds, that snow is going to blow back out onto the roadways, essentially going to freeze there. So future cast as we go through the rest of the day today. Again, some of those heavier bands of snow mixing in as we get to lunchtime and into early this afternoon. It's as we get to around 3 or 4 o'clock that we start to see that snow mix line work its way through. And essentially what you're seeing here is you may get some warmer air higher up in the atmosphere, but because the snow is falling so fast, that's overwhelming the warm air, and it's still falling as snow. As that snow starts to lighten up slowly but surely, that's when we could see that snow start to melt, then freeze again and fall as sleet as we go through the rest of the afternoon and into the evening. You can see that from Lancaster to York, even down into southeastern Adams County. The chances there that you could see some sleet mixing in. Things will start to taper off and could get a couple more snow showers as we go through later this evening into overnight tonight. But as we get to around midnight or so, that snow should be done for good. Obviously, weather impact alerts lasting for today, into tomorrow, and then Tuesday. The snow for today and into tomorrow with that blowing snow, but also temperatures. Notice we're not even going to get to 20 degrees today, may get to 20 tomorrow, but again, struggling in the upper teens as we get to our Tuesday. More chilly air on the way as we go through the rest of this week.
All right, Jacob, thanks so much. I have some tips for you right now on how to avoid frostbite during this winter storm, because we keep talking about the bitter cold temperatures. It's a big part of this besides any kind of snow accumulation. In the early stages of frostbite, your skin may feel cold, tingly, and numb. If you have minor frostbite, you want to run the affected area under warm water. Do not use hot water, as that can aggravate any injury. Hypothermia during this time of year is also a risk, so watch for signs of shivering, slowed movement, altered mental status, anything like that. If it gets to that point, you want to warm the person up as quickly as possible and get them to the hospital. Keeping hand warmers, blankets, extra clothing, also non-perishable food and water in your car, also ideal in these conditions. All right, everybody, as we get ready to head to another break here real quickly, we are taking a look at Lewistown, Pennsylvania here in Mifflin County. This is an area that our weather team telling us is going to see some of the higher snow accumulation totals. I know it all kind of looks the same right now, but this is an area we want to keep our eyes on as this storm continues the rest of the morning and into this afternoon. Stay with us. Our special coverage here on Fox 43 Plus will continue right after this short break.
The storm has arrived and snow continues falling heavy across south central PA.
That's right. We have live team coverage throughout the morning here. Meteorologists Tony Martin and Jacob Pitts standing by.
Plus, Fox 43's Robert Stover is taking a look at conditions live in Cumberland County, along with our Sedona Meadows. She's live in York County. Fox 43 Morning News starts right now. 9:31 on your Sunday morning. Thanks for joining us for a special edition of Fox 43 Morning News. I'm Gabrielle Media.
And good morning, everybody. I'm James Tully, streaming with you right here until noon. At least we are on the desk, and we'll be on Fox 43 at 11 a.m. We're going to turn things over to Jacob Pitts right now, tracking this storm. So far, everything's going as planned.
Yeah, no real surprises to this point, and that's pretty much what we expect when we've been talking about this storm for, the last 6 days or so. We knew this was coming, and, This is it. I've got Tony over there. I said 6. 7 obviously is the next number. He did the.
Tony
I
loves
hate to throw him under the bus, but I couldn't hold it together.
You always have to take a moment to laugh on a crazy weather day like today,
Yeah,
right?
it's crazy. But we just checked in with Sedona a couple of minutes ago, who's in York County, and we're going to see her again. Seeing accumulation totals there close to 2 inches an hour, also as expected. So looking out your window there, it's coming down.
Yeah, and we keep getting updated snow reports, and those numbers keep going up and up and up. We'll take a live look at Harrisburg this morning, where you can hardly see the state capitol right now at a little after 9:30, and it is still a chilly one out there. You have temperatures down in the teens, low teens, and single digits in some spots. Again, this is snowfall, and we didn't update this graphic yet, but 5 inches at last check over in New Bloomfield and Perry County, just under 4 inches in Manheim, 3 inches or so in Palmyra and Mechanicsburg, and then 3 inches right on the nose in York. There are some spots, especially just out of our area, that have picked up a little more. I believe Center County, at their last check near State College, they already had close to 9 inches. A similar story up in Du Bois. So there are spots that are picking up quite a bit of snow already. Checking out the roadways this morning, and you can see a lot of snow on the roadways. And even when a snowplow comes by, it doesn't take long for the snow to fill right back in across the area. And of course, we're going to expect this as we go through the rest of today. Once the snow slows down and starts to stop, that's when I think PennDOT can get a better handle on things and really start to clear the roads out. Now, Tony's going to talk about this as we move along here this morning, the fact that we have some pretty strong winds on the way as we get to tomorrow. That's going to cause some of the snow that falls to blow right back over onto those roadways. Some very light, fluffy snow falling this morning, Tony, and this is all thanks to the cold temperatures. Those colder temps turn that snow into just the white, fluffy stuff out there that's easy to blow around. Tony?
Jake, that's right. The snow this go around, it's so cold that it's a light, fluffy variety. It's not the heavy, wet, sticking snow that just pastes itself to tree limbs and power lines and power poles. This stuff, it is easy to shovel, but on the flip side, it's going to be easy for the wind to blow that snow around heading into the day tomorrow. After the storm leaves, the falling snow will be done, but it's going to blow and drift around like crazy throughout much of the day. Winter storm warnings in place all the way through 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Snowfall expectations 12 to 16, locally 18 inches of snow, roughly from around 81 and 78 northwestward, south and east of there, 6 to 12. And again, the further south and east that you go, the lighter the amounts will get. So extreme southeastern Lancaster County, likely closer to 6. That's because of sleet mixing in. But if it's delayed even by a little bit, your snowfall amounts will be going up. Everybody picking up a heavy, sizable amount of snow. Weather impact alert through Tuesday. It's because of the falling snow today, blowing snow tomorrow, cold wind chills Monday night and into Tuesday morning. At that point, we have to start worrying about frostbite. It can occur in as little as 30 minutes, maybe 25 minutes, early Tuesday morning with wind chills between 10 and 20 below zero. Now, when we talk about this dry, powdery snow, 1 inch of water, which that's very close to what we're going to see across a lot of the state of Pennsylvania. When your temperatures, again, this is a close approximation. When your temperatures are sitting in the low and mid 30s, your snowfall ratios are much less, and you start to pick up on less amounts of snow. It's heavy, it's wet, it's dense, and it compacts. So 1 inch of water, 5 to maybe 6 inches of snow. Now, when it's around 30 to the upper 20s, you get into what's called a 10 to 1. That's a very common ratio here in south central Pennsylvania. But this go around, ratios are more toward 20 to 1, at least to start. They'll come down a little bit later this afternoon as the snow does become a little bit more dense and we start to pick up on some sleet. But we're in the teens, 20 to 1 ratios. We're going to pick up about an inch of water across Pennsylvania. And where it does stay all fluffy light snow, there will be spots that get 20 inches before things are all said and done later on this evening and into tonight. So this is a big storm. If you've been around here long enough, it's a storm to compare with maybe in the 90s. And of course, back in 2016, as recent as that, we had a sizable storm very similar to that, although we're not going to melt any of this off anytime soon. All of next week looks very, very cold. And we'll talk about all parts of your forecast coming up here as we go throughout the morning.
Tony, thank you. We'll check back in with you soon. The Pennsylvania Emergency Management Agency is obviously closely monitoring this storm this morning and beyond.
That's right. Right now we have PEMA Director Randy Padfield on the phone right now with an update on where the agency is focusing its attention. Randy, thanks so much for joining us. We know that you prepare all year for mornings like this. Just wondering what kind of calls you've gotten so far, crashes, stranded vehicles, medical emergencies, anything you can fill us in on?
Sure. Good morning, James and Gabrielle. The storm is, progressing as we expected. We've had some minor incidents across the state regarding travel and some isolated power outages, but actually nothing significant to report overnight. It looks like everyone is doing their fair part of staying off the roadways. That helps PennDOT, the Turnpike, and the municipalities keep up with the snowfall.
That is very good to hear. We just wanted to mention we are hearing your voice. Somebody popped up, but that wasn't you. We've got you with us this morning on the phone call end of things. Can you fill us in on what your biggest concern is over the next 6 to 12 hours for people out on the roads and for your crews?
I think the biggest concern is to continue to monitor any travel restrictions that we have, especially with the cold temperatures. We do not want to strand individuals out on the roadway for any extended period of time. We also want to continue to monitor the power outages. I think our biggest concern is going into the week with the extended cold temperatures, and that's usually when we see things with frozen and busted water pipes, water main impacts, heating issues with loss of heat in larger facilities that house multiple people. So we'll continue to monitor that.
Hey, Randy, you've seen a lot of these storms. Just wondering your opinion on what you're seeing outside right now as far as the roads around you, whether they be side roads or major roads, just your thoughts.
So, I think while this storm is impactful, it's obviously not historic from a historic snowfall perspective. I think the major issue that we're looking at is it is significant impact across a vast majority of the state, which is not something that we see on a regular basis. But I think it's progressing as we had expected. And it's good to see that actually people are adhering to the advice and the preparedness messaging that we've been doing the last couple of days on the lead up to the storm.
That is really good news. I think the fact that it's a Sunday certainly helps out with that. But if somebody does need to head out, what do you think would be the best time frame for them to do that, and what advice do you have for them?
I think the issue is any time that they need to head out is to try to time their travel so it's not during high impact times. We have the capability of getting up to the minute weather forecast, things of that nature now. So, we encourage people to be weather aware. They can check the road conditions on the 511 network. They can take a look at cameras. So the more information they have to plan their travel is critical. And if they have to go out, make sure that they have an emergency kit in their car in case they do get stranded.
And I just want to reiterate something Randy said off the top here. No major concerns or issues overnight into the morning here. Is that right, Randy?
That is correct.
That's so good to hear.
That is great news, especially on a day like today.
Absolutely. I think just echoing what Randy said, this is not historic in nature by any means. It is happening as expected. But again, you got to heed the warnings and use the resources you got. He mentioned 511. That's a really good one, too.
Exactly. Something that we use all the time here in the studio as well, Randy. Thank you so much for all that you do and for making some time for us this morning. Stay safe out there.
Thank you.
All right, moving on this morning. We are going to
checking in with Robert, I think.
Are we going to go to Robert and Carlisle? All right, let's do it.
All right, Robert's been out throughout the morning. He's been seeing changes in visibility, but all the way through, he's been seeing pretty consistent snow coming down. Robert, what's it looking like out there for you now in Carlisle?
Well, I have to say it is a little bit more active at the rest stop. We're kind of sandwiched in between Interstate 81 and the Pennsylvania Turnpike. This rest stop is just off the Harrisburg Pike, and we have seen some traffic move through the area since about 6 o'clock this morning when we originally pulled in. Now, some of those vehicles have been PennDOT vehicles, others have been landscaping vehicles with the snow plows attached to the front there. We have seen some commercial vehicles make their way in and out of the area, but if I take a step to the side, you can see what the conditions look like as of this hour. Pretty much of the same as you saw about 30 minutes ago. Like I said, we have seen snow trucks and plows come by, and whatever material they're able to push off of the road more material just falls onto it and creates just, potentially hazardous conditions if you do hit the road and your car isn't the most equipped to deal with the snowfall. It's because of those cold temperatures, the wind from this morning, and of course the conditions of the road, that the Cumberland County Board of Commissioners announced a declaration of disaster emergency. That was announced yesterday. And what that means is certain government buildings like the courthouse and other county facilities, they're going to be closed tomorrow, and only those essential workers will be allowed to enter. Now, that declaration also allows county officials to purchase needed supplies, employ temporary workers, and enter into contracts and agreements with vendors in an atypical manner. Not something that the county would do unless it was an extreme circumstance like this one. The Cumberland County Department of Public Safety Emergency Operations Center, they've also been activated. We've been monitoring chatter online just to see, if there are any updates. Haven't heard of too many situations or instances where we've seen emergency vehicles come by. In fact, we have a few vehicles, I think, maybe going to try to enter this rest stop now. A word of caution, as you heard the PEMA director say just a few minutes ago, if you do have to head out onto the road today, pace yourself, give yourself enough time. More importantly, give yourself enough distance in between yourself and another vehicle, especially if that vehicle is a PennDOT truck or snowplow. They're moving that material off the road. You don't want to get too close for them. Everybody's just trying to take their time right now. That all being said, we haven't seen a lot of activity in terms of vehicles coming from the Harrisburg Pike getting onto the Pennsylvania Turnpike just up the road from us a little bit. So I think for the most part, we've been seeing people avoid those highways and interstates, only traveling, again, unless they absolutely have to. We're going to continue to monitor the scene and provide the most up-to-date information right here on air and online at fox43.com. Live in Carlisle, Cumberland County, Robert Stover, Fox 43 News.
All right, Robert, thank you so much. We appreciate you being out there and letting people know the conditions if they absolutely need to get out on the roads. Of course, as we've been saying, just stay home if you can. Thanks so much.
All right, and we're right now taking a look at the radar as the snow continues to fall. In some places, as much as 2 inches an hour. Our weather team standing by, as well as a live look at what's happening in York County on the other side of this break. Rosie standing by here on the computer.
Can you give us a 10 count, Dwayne?
All right, guys, give us confirmation you hear Dwayne.
I think we would hear him too, though, and we don't.
Okay.
Is he open upstairs?
Is he open upstairs, Sarah? Router 1 is open.
Okay,
Just keep talking, Dwayne.
Are they hearing him upstairs?
You guys are not hearing him upstairs.
Hey, what else you can do? Have him call the phoner line.
It might just be a phoner.
Yeah, it might just be a phoner.
Please hold.
Hi, Dwayne, sorry.
So when did you hear him, Sarah?
We saw levels, but we couldn't hear.
Oh,
We saw levels from the computer.
but we never were able to hear him. Okay. So let's make the call now.
Wait, Sarah, can you try again?
Try one more time, Sarah.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3,
Here
4,
he
5,
is,
6, 7.
Dwayne.
Okay, we're good to go.
Okay. Now, do we have to turn down the volume on us or just leave it as is?
Let's see.
Keep
Sarah,
testing
Are you
him.
getting feedback by having this up? Tell me I can't hear you.
She didn't answer. Sarah, are you getting feedback if we leave this up? Like, are you getting mixed minus with us talking, or that's
We
what you
just,
mean,
we
right?
just have Rosie stand by here, and if you need to bring the audio down. Okay.
She doesn't think so, so we'll leave it.
we're gonna leave
All right, Dwayne, we're going to be coming to you in just about, I would say, like 30 seconds or so.
Okay, you can hear me?
I sure can, and it's great to hear you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna get out of the way.
Thanks, Rosie. Just don't go too far.
All right, welcome back. Happy Sunday morning to everybody out there. This is our special coverage here on Fox 43 Plus. Glad you're with us as we take a look at how things are going all throughout our viewing area. I'm James Tully, next to Gabrielle Mediak. Take a look now at how things are going in our eastern counties.
Yeah, we're taking a look in Lancaster County per se. We've got a very special guest with us this morning. Joining us is Dwayne Hakelgans. He's served as the Fire Commissioner of Blue Rock Fire Rescue and the Emergency Management Coordinator for Millersville Borough and Manor Township. So you are a busy guy, Dwayne. We appreciate your time this morning. Can you let us know how things are looking in your neck of the woods?
Sure, it's pretty good so far here. Snow's still coming down. Probably not as bad as the storms of the 90s at this point, but we're worried about this afternoon. Road crews are out there doing their best, but to be honest with you, it's drifting a lot. We have a lot of farmland, a lot of rural areas, so they're trying their best to keep up with it. The suggestion obviously is for everybody to stay home.
Yeah, a lot of people heeding that suggestion. We just take a look, Dwayne, at our reporters out in York and Lancaster County. We just aren't seeing a lot of people out there on the roadways, which is exactly what you guys want. God forbid there is an emergency. Do you have any concerns about crews being able to get to people if they call 911?
Well, we're pretty fortunate. We have 4 stations. We have people in all of our stations right now, and we do have contact with all of our road crews. So if need be, we get our road crew ahead of us to get in. We do have small vehicles, so we can get to people quickly. We got some snowmobiles, some other vehicles, and we have 4 plows within the station.
Good news there. So for the most part, it seems like you guys are on top of this. Conditions are what you expected them to be, but are you seeing any random trouble spots that people should avoid?
Well, again, for the most part, in the borough here, it's not too terrible. As you get out into the township and the rural roads, and the wind's still blowing pretty hard, so the roads are being blown shut. You know, hopefully nobody's out unless they have to be out here this morning.
Hey, Dwayne, just if I'm picking up on what you're saying, you've seen a lot of these storms. This is old hat for you, but it seems like you're really concerned about drifting right now. You're definitely concerned about the very low temperatures we're going to continue to experience this afternoon. Am I on the right track?
Yeah, we're a lot more nervous about this afternoon, especially if this turns to ice. You know, snow we can deal with. Ice makes it so much more challenging because then you have the issues with the power, and that's our real concern in our area if we get power outages. So stay home and read a book.
I know, right? I mean, it's just as simple as that. Stay at home. It's a Sunday, and we'll be checking back in with you in just a little bit. Dwayne, thank you again for making some time for us. Anything else on your end, James?
No, I think we're good. I think you just have to listen to Dwayne here that the afternoon is going to be, again, a bigger concern as the snowfall continues, the cold temps, and hopefully not that many outages to deal with. So, Dwayne, we'll check back in with you. Appreciate your time so much.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right.
Of course, we also have the sleet to watch as we get to this afternoon and into this evening as well, especially in spots like Lancaster County. Live look over the state capitol this morning, and again, you can see the outline of the Capitol Rotunda, but that's really it. Visibility is poor out there, down to about a quarter mile for everybody. Temperatures now right around 10 degrees for just about everybody. Some spots in the upper single digits, others in the low teens this morning. Feels like numbers down around 0 thanks to a little bit of a breeze out there. Winter storm warning lasting until 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon for our entire area. And of course, as we get to later on tonight, that snow will start to shut down, but the concern as we get to tomorrow, especially wind gusts by tomorrow afternoon up around 30 miles an hour. And like Dwayne was talking about, that drifting and blowing snow going to be a big concern as of late. Snow totals again 12 to 16 to the north and west essentially of I-81 and I-78. So we're talking Mifflin, Juniata, Perry counties. They're our best bet to see the most snowfall. As you get closer to the south and east, those snow totals start to dwindle a little bit, especially thanks to that sleet line that we've been talking about over these last couple of days. Where that ends up will determine a lot as far as snowfall. The further north and west, obviously, where they aren't going to have to worry about the sleet, they're going to see more snow, the most snow out of all of us. Down in Lancaster and York, even parts of southeastern Adams County, as that sleet line approaches and gets to us, that'll dictate how much less snow that we will see across the area. Here's visibility right now. Again, a quarter mile, half mile in Lebanon and Chambersburg. So like we've been saying all morning long, if you don't have to go anywhere, don't. It's just that simple. Temperatures, like I've been saying as well, down in the low teens to upper single digits. Here is satellite and radar with some more of those heavier bands right now working their way along I-83 all the way to Gettysburg and Route 30 up Route 15. Some more heavier snow as you get back towards Franklin County and into Chambersburg. And these heavier bands of snow could be dropping anywhere from 1 to 2 inches of snow per hour. And that is definitely a big concern as we go through the rest of this morning. This is the heaviest snowfall, though, that we will see throughout the day. It will start to lighten up as we get to this afternoon. And we watch that snow mix line as we get to this afternoon as well. Winds, again, anywhere from 5 to 10 miles an hour. Winds will pick up, though, as we get to tomorrow, especially by tomorrow afternoon, gusting anywhere from 25 up to 30 miles an hour, really causing some headaches as far as that blowing snow is concerned. Winds do start to die down as we go through the rest of this week, but temperatures are going to stay well below freezing down in the teens. So here's Futurecast as we go through the rest of this morning. Again, some of those heavier bands of snow as we get to around lunchtime. As the snow starts to lighten up, especially in our southeastern spots, that's when we could start to see that pink, that sleet line start to make its way in to our area from Lancaster down to York as we get to around 4 or 5, 6 o'clock this evening. As things start to taper off, though, things will change back over to just snow as we get to late tonight, and by midnight or so, a couple of snow showers left behind. Otherwise, we are clearing out and could get some peaks of sunshine out the door for Monday morning. Weather impact alert lasting from today all the way through Tuesday. Snow for today, the blowing snow, and the frigid temperatures for tomorrow and Tuesday. Again, we're going to struggle to get above 20 degrees for the next little while.
And with the extreme cold weather we've been talking about, keeping your car in good shape is very important. Experts are telling drivers to prepare their vehicles for cold weather by slowing down, checking your tire pressure, getting those fluids, antifreeze, and wiper blades checked. They also advise to let your car turn on for a couple of minutes to warm up before you go anywhere, and that will allow your engine to run more smoothly.
When oil gets really cold, it's thick. Usually your oil pressure is a little higher when it's cold. As the oil thins out, it starts to be more lubricant. It gets into all the tighter spots in the engine and whatnot. So if you get in the vehicle, start it up, drop it in gear, nothing's properly lubricated. So just sitting there letting it idle for like 5 minutes is fine.
Experts are also emphasizing the importance of having essentials like blankets, pillows, a shovel in your car just in case of an emergency. Also this morning, if you're staying put at home, the weather is putting a bit of a strain on home plumbing and heating systems across South Central PA. Home contractors say they've gotten plenty of repair calls to fix frozen pipes or broken HVAC systems. They say that you can prevent this issue by using insulated tape on exposed lines and on pipes, and also by running your faucet on a drip during these cold temperatures. Experts also say changing your HVAC filters and scheduling regular maintenance can help keep the heat and water in your home going during these freezing temps.
By keeping your system clean and the filters clean, you can not have a visit from me.
Contractors also recommend clearing off any snow from your HVAC ventilation pipe, and that will help prevent a breakdown of your heating and your plumbing system. 9:55 on your Sunday morning, giving you a live look at the radar as we head into break. In just a couple of minutes, we'll be checking in with Robert and Sedona, Tony and Jacob. They'll also have a look at your forecast and what you can expect if you need to head out today. Thanks for joining us for Fox 43 Morning News. We've got a special edition for you this Sunday with all of the snow out there. I'm Gabrielle Mediak.
Good morning, everybody. I'm James Tully. The storm is here. Heavy snow, frigid temperatures behind it, impacting our entire viewing area this morning.
We've got meteorologist Tony Martin here and Jacob Pitts. They're both monitoring this storm's path, and our team coverage begins with Jacob, who's got a look at your forecast. Jacob.
Yeah, it's been a busy morning so far, just trying to grab things in when we can, step away, eat, bathroom, whatever.
It's busy.
It's one of those mornings for sure, and that pattern will continue. Obviously, we'll get some breaks in here. Jackie and Alex will be in a little later. This is a live look, if you can tell. That's the state capitol in Harrisburg this morning. This view continues to go in and out as we've gone through, thanks to the snow. The heavier the snow falls, that visibility continuing to drop out there as we go through the rest of this morning. And there we go. Let's take a look at snowfall so far. Marysville and Perry County, they're the big winners for us right now at just under 6 inches. Have seen a couple of reports. Enola in Cumberland County also at that 6-inch mark. Mechanicsburg at 5, Lebanon at just over 4, Millersburg and Dauphin County at 4, Loganville at 4.5 right now in York County. So those snowfall rates continuing, or those snowfall numbers, I should say, continuing to climb as we go through the rest of this morning. And we're going to see those numbers keep climbing through the afternoon. PennDOT taking a little nappy poo this morning here at 10 o'clock, but the roadways honestly would look very similar. White out there thanks to the snow. Our winter storm warning in effect until 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, and we'll turn the keys over to Tony Martin now, talking about exactly what we'll see as we get to a little later on this afternoon and even into tomorrow. The breeze picking up, and with this light powdery snow, the roadways are still going to be a trouble spot over the next 24 to 48 hours.
Jake, thanks. It's interesting to watch those snow totals. When we went on, started streaming back at 8 o'clock this morning, a lot of us were around 2 to 3 inches of snow. Now, many spots closing in between 5 and 6 inches of snow, and it's just going to go higher from there. In fact, we'll likely double those coming up over the next couple of hours and heading into the afternoon, go even higher than that. Winter storm warnings up for all of south central Pennsylvania, the entire state. Dealing with this storm, a wide-reaching big winter storm here, 12 to 16 inches from Harrisburg to Lebanon to Carlisle to Shippensburg, Chambersburg, northwestward. South and east of there, slightly lesser amounts of snow, still significant, still heavy. Let's say around New Cumberland to Gettysburg to let's say Manheim. From there and then south and east to about York and Lancaster, looks like a solid 10 to 12 inches of snow. Now, south and east of York and Lancaster, amounts will go down into extreme southeastern Lancaster County, down closer to 6 to 8 inches because of some sleet that will start to mix in here later on today. However, lots of shoveling, snow blowing, plowing. It's going to be going on all through our Sunday and into Monday as well. Weather impact alerts into Tuesday. Today because of the falling snow. Tomorrow because of blowing and drifting snow. And Tuesday because of wind chills as low as 15 to 20 below. And that frostbite risk starts to go back up as we head into early next week. Here's a look at Red Lion right now. Snow continues to come down at a steady clip. Already between 4 and 5 inches of snow and plenty more to come. This is our sweeps on our Doppler radar scanning the skies, and a lot of deeper blue now up to Duncannon. From there southward, snowfall rates are coming in at around 2 inches per hour. North Codorus area, Dover to Hanover to New Oxford, and Abbottstown to Gettysburg, east to Shrewsbury, and then the east-northeast out to around Paradise and Gap. Snowfall rates 2 inches or so per hour, and then west here into Chambersburg and Waynesboro to Mercersburg, picking up on heavier amounts of snow. If you don't have to go out today, don't do it, because this storm, very wide-reaching. It's also very cold, so you don't want to get stuck out in this. It's only around 10, and with a gentle breeze from the east, our wind chills right now running a few degrees below zero.
Tony, thank you. We'll check back in with you soon. And the winter storm, of course, making the roads pretty treacherous in certain spots. And state officials are just asking people to stay home if they can.
That's right. If you absolutely have to go out, you want to allow a lot of time, but also know the conditions. We're checking in again with PennDOT spokesperson Fritzi Schreffler. She's on the phone right now with us with an update on how crews are tackling this storm, where they're focusing attention. Fritzi, welcome back to the show. We've been checking in with our reporters, Lancaster, York, and beyond. So far, they're not seeing people do anything they shouldn't be doing, although you told us that we've already had one snowplow fender bender this morning, which you said was unfathomable, that somebody would actually hit a plow, but it happened in
yeah,
York County.
yeah,
Am I
you
right?
gotta wonder when they hit a plow that's bright yellow, big, lots of flashing lights, and really nobody else on the road.
Yeah, hard to believe.
Yeah, mostly it's just been some spin-offs here and there. People are going too fast for conditions. They aren't heeding the 45-mile-an-hour speed limit. Or on their local roads, I can't necessarily speak for them, but the people that I've seen on TV are definitely still driving too fast.
Yeah, I think we're kind of seeing the same thing, Gabby, aren't we?
Yeah, we've been seeing it through our reporter live shots, Fritzy, throughout the morning. What have you been seeing out there? Like, are you having any spots that you are experiencing some troubles that people should avoid, things like that?
No, really, I think, there's two good things. One, we knew this storm was coming. And sometimes people say, oh, I'm going to ignore it because it gets here, and it doesn't happen. It kind of fizzles out. This did not fizzle out. So they had plenty of warning to get the supplies that they felt they needed to be home for a day or two. And then the keeping people off the roads, that has really helped. It's a Sunday. And so people are staying home, churches are closed, businesses are closed. There really is nowhere you need to be unless you are an essential employee.
No doubt about it, Fritzy. Can we talk about what is legal today? You guys put a Tier 4 restriction plan in place. I'll give you the floor. Go ahead, tell us exactly what that means for everybody listening or watching right now.
So for the interstates, in our area, that's going to be 83 and 81 and 78. Those are going to be a Tier 4 restriction, which means no commercial vehicles out there, no buses, no trailers, no vehicles towing a trailer, no RVs. And it's to keep all of that heavy traffic that has more of an impact if there's a crash, more likelihood to jackknife. So we're keeping it to passenger vehicles only, emergency responders, and essential employees. On the secondary roads, which are just a step down, like a 30, 283, 581, those kind of roads are at 45 miles an hour. Commercial vehicles are allowed if they are in the right lane.
Right, and we're showing video of a spinoff we saw much earlier this morning. You've obviously mentioned certain accidents that have happened the same way. So important to keep people off the roads while we can, with it being Sunday. I did want to talk to you about your biggest concern, though, over the next 6 to 12 hours, more of the cleanup effort. As the snow continues to come down, looking ahead, what are you thinking? What are you seeing?
Well, our crews are going to be out in 12-hour shifts. So the next shift change will be at noon today. We do have the opportunity to hold people over if we need to, but I don't think that is going to be happening. I think we're going to be okay with switching over to the next one so that those crews can either go home and help their families shovel out, or in some cases, some, depending on where they live, some may choose to stay at the stockpile and just try and catch some sleep because it's been a long night. We will be out for the duration of the storm through cleanup.
If Fritzy, I know you're getting asked the same questions. You're doing a lot of these photos this morning. I get it.
You're busy.
But I understand. But I just am curious, with your plow crews and everything, you've checked in with them. What are they telling you? Are they keeping up with things pretty well? Do they have a pretty good feeling about the condition that they're able to leave the major roads this morning after they pass through?
Well, it keeps varying as the snow starts to come down a little bit heavier in some places, a little bit less. 36 to 40-mile routes are an average for our people, although it's a little bit smaller on the interstates. But then again, you have more lanes on the interstates that they have to deal with. It can take 2.5 to 3 hours to get back to the same spot. And when it's snowing really heavy, it can look like our plows weren't even there. Although I think they're doing a really good job on the interstates of trying to keep those mostly clear.
Right, because as we've seen in some areas, up to 2 inches are coming down an hour, it's been a while since our area has experienced anything like this, Fritzy.
It's been 10 years since we've had anything like this, and that was some pretty significant snow. I don't think we're going to have quite as much snow as that time, but, I think just if people don't have to go out, I think the concern later today is people are getting cabin fever.
Yep.
Even though it's just a day. And people are getting cabin fever and they might think they need to run out, or maybe there was something they forgot, but you had plenty of warning, and really it's a day. Tomorrow morning, take a look at what the conditions are like and see if you can head out then.
All right. Well, we'll talk to you about tomorrow morning when we need to. Right now, this is the situation. She's Fritzy Schreffler with PennDOT joining us here. Fritzy, thanks so much. Sounds overall, though, as we let you go, you're feeling okay about things. We're not seeing anything historic today. You guys have all been through this before.
Yeah, I mean, there are new operators out there, so, you know, they get that little bit of adrenaline rush, but I think by the end of a 12-hour shift, maybe not so much.
Right. Fritzy, thank you so much. We appreciate your time this morning, and we'll be checking back in with you in just a little bit. Thanks again. All right, well, we are heading back outside. Our Robert Stover, he's been keeping an eye on some dangerous conditions on the roads where state leaders are urging people to just stay home, the message we've been hearing all morning long.
That's right. Let's get you right out to Robert right now. Robert, we just got the phone with Fritzy with PennDOT, and she's saying that she's hearing reports of people still driving too fast out there. You're right in front of Harrisburg Pike. Can you tell us what you've seen as far as any other drivers that you've been able to spot?
Oh, surprisingly, we have seen quite a few tractor trailers. I shouldn't say it's that surprising since the rest stop we are at is for, regular pedestrian drivers and, of course, people who drive those tractor trailers. But it's just kind of odd to see them in the conditions that we are experiencing right now with this weather, the snow being packed onto the road. And as you heard Fritzy say, we did have PennDOT crews make their way through those areas, but pretty much as soon as the snow is pushed off to one side, more gets, toppled onto the road there, and might look like PennDOT crews weren't even here at all, but I can tell you they were. We saw them early this morning. They've seen a few other snow trucks and snow plows make their way through the area. But for the most part here on Harrisburg Pike, things have been running smoothly, albeit very slow. We have recommended all throughout this morning, if you absolutely don't have to go onto the road, don't do it. But that hasn't stopped, as you can see, some of these folks behind us. Now, one of the few reminders that I remember working with Fritzy in the past when it comes to driving in the snow is maintaining a safe distance from yourself and another vehicle. That could also be a tractor trailer, specifically those PennDOT vehicles as they make their way on and off main roads like Harrisburg Pike. We're kind of sandwiched in between the Pennsylvania Turnpike as well as Interstate 81, and we haven't seen too many vehicles exit or enter either of those two major highway systems. Now, it's because of these extreme conditions that the Cumberland County Board of Commissioners announced a declaration of disaster emergency yesterday. Now, what that means for people within the area is that government buildings like the courthouse and other county facilities, it's going to be closed on Monday, so only those essential workers, those employees, will be allowed access to those buildings. Now, that declaration also allows county officials to purchase needed supplies, empty temporary workers, and enter into contracts and agreements with vendors in an atypical manner, something that wouldn't typically be done unless the circumstances like this called for that. Now, the county's Department of Public Safety's Emergency Operations Center has also been activated. We're keeping our eyes and ears out there for any major incidents. So far, things have been quiet. I think most people have been complying with the recommendations from officials and professionals who have dealt with this stuff before. Downtown Carlisle is about 10 minutes up the road that way. So keep that in mind if you do want to try to brave the elements this morning. If you do have to walk, make sure you're bundled up. Safety is important. If you do have to take a car out and you have to park it somewhere, something that my photog Bree said this morning, parking lines. Entirely optional today since most of the parking lot is still full with snow and it's hard to see where exactly you're parking. So just be mindful, be smart. We're going to continue to monitor the area and provide updates as they become available on air and online at fox43.com. Live in Carlisle, Cumberland County, Robert Stover, Fox 43 News.
All right, Robert, we appreciate you being out there for us this morning. Get back in the car and stay warm. We'll check back in with you soon. Our live coverage, we continue this morning with Fox 43's Natalie Caranda.
Natalie live in Manchester Township, also York County with an update. Natalie, welcome to our coverage this morning. Good to see you. Talk about what you're seeing out there.
Yeah, good morning, guys. Well, it's kind of hard to see much of anything where I'm standing right now because the snow is just pounding right in my face. It's coming down pretty fast right now, but I am off of I am on Route 30, right on Arsenal Road here, off of 83. And as you can see, there isn't much activity going on right now. We do see a truck, it looks like, coming up over that hill right there past the light. But before that, a couple minutes ago, the plows were just coming through here. And I know we were just on with Fritzy with PennDOT and everything, and she was advising people to just drive slowly if they have to be out today. The crews are out here working really, really hard, and they did just come plowing through, but that truck did look like he was going pretty fast. So I guess this could be also another reminder to, if you have to go out today, just drive slow. Only essential workers should be on the road, so stay warm in your homes. That's where I wish I was right now, warm in my home. But we are out here. I'm happy to be out here with everybody. And it's cold, but we're all making it through here. So I guess we'll see you in another half hour and still getting a couple inches, and I will do a measuring stick with you guys soon. So in Manchester, Natalie Caranda, Fox 43 News.
Natalie, we definitely appreciate you being out there for us, and you can see just how quickly the snow recoated those roads. We saw the plows go through there, and you can see the tracks just basically, it's crazy.
It's impossible to keep up, right?
It is.
You hear Fritzy. Natalie, Fritzy told us sometimes it takes as much as 2.5, 3 hours for those plows to come back through and do a second pass where they came. So I think you're going to see that. But so far, next to you there at Route 30, it's not awful. Looks passable.
It is somewhat passable. I mean, you probably did just see a couple more trucks come through here. They were going, it seemed to be a little bit faster than maybe they should have, but it is passable. You can see it is kind of still layering up on the road. But if Fritzy did say it could take a couple more hours, I'm really hoping that people can slow down if they are on here, if it does get to be to the point where it starts to turn to ice, which of course is a possibility with all that's happening out here this morning.
All right, Natalie, some great advice there. Thanks so much. You get warm in the car, and we'll check back in with you soon. We appreciate it. We're going to leave you with a live look at the radar this morning, current conditions across the entire state. And we'll keep you updated throughout the morning right here at home. We've got Tony Martin, and we also have Jacob Pitts. They've got you covered in the studio. We have multiple reporters out in the field. We'll be right back. Stick around. 10:19, welcome back. The snow is piling up across south central PA, and crews, they are working hard to salt and clear those roads.
Doing the best they can, but right now accumulations are coming in about 2 inches an hour in some spots. We're up to 6 inches in some spots of the viewing area. Let's check in with Sedona Meadows. She's live in York Township, York County, overlooking I-83. Sedona, you're getting close to about 5 inches of snow underneath of you right now, monitoring the conditions there. What can you tell us?
Oh yeah, let's take a quick check with our wonderful yardstick. We've been checking throughout the morning, seeing how deep this is. So it looks like right now, right in this spot that has been untouched, saying 6 inches. 6 inches right here. So it is pretty connected with all of the other parts of York County right now, seeing those 6 inches of snow. We're definitely getting pelted faster and faster by this ice. Definitely feels a lot harder than what we were seeing the last couple of hours, so it feels a little bit harder on the face. But yeah, in terms of I-83, we have been, watching both north, southbound, seeing how many vehicles are coming through, and honestly, it's been pretty quiet. We have seen some trucks. We actually just, about 3 minutes ago, saw 3 PennDOT plows coming onto the interstate, coming this way to clear the roadways. But we have been seeing some difficulty for people who are getting onto this on-ramp. You can't even see how to get on it. I mean, it is like the visibility is not great over here at all. We actually witnessed in the last 30 minutes 2 vehicles that were, trying to get on the on-ramp, what they thought was the on-ramp. It was actually the exit ramp. We saw that a couple hours ago too. So it seems to be a similar pattern with these vehicles. They can't even see where to get onto the interstate. We were talking to someone off camera earlier who he said, that spot over there is very icy. He's very concerned that people are going to get stuck. Excuse me, I got choked on some ice right there. So it just shows you how icy it is right now. But yeah, they say that if you do start to get on that on-ramp, it can be very dangerous, even just coming around that corner. You could get stuck there. So definitely something you got to be mindful of. We have been seeing some plows coming through this parking lot here near the hotel in Permantes. They've been coming through every 20 minutes or so. And you can just see that the snow continues to collect on the ground, even when they just come through, within every 20 minutes. So it looks like they haven't even really been through, but they have been here. And we also are seeing so much of that snow that's being pulled off to the side. It's just, you could see the amount is pretty great right now. And then earlier we did try some food dye with the blue. And you can barely see it. You can only see little pops of the blue right there. So clearly that snow is collecting, and it's collecting fast. And yeah, in the last in this time that we've been live, we really haven't seen any vehicles. We did see there's a truck coming down right now. He's going onto the interstate. He's taking a little fast, so you got to be really mindful when you are getting onto the roadway. So it looks like he is making it through okay. But yeah, if you are having to be out here today, just remember to keep it slow, keep away from people. We were talking off camera with a police officer who's been staying nearby, before work. And so he has to get to work. Essential workers, they got to work in this. So please, be mindful of those first responders that have to be out on the road, protecting everyone. So that's something that definitely, if you don't have to be out here today, don't be. We are definitely freezing out here. We're making it work though. And yeah, as you can see, this has not been plowed. We're seeing so much snow collection. Definitely not the good snowball snow. It's a little crunchy and it falls apart. So don't know if we're gonna be making any snowmen. We're gonna try though. We're gonna bring Ice Baby back. So, but for now, live in York County, Sedona Meadows, Fox 43 News.
Wow, Sedona, it's been coming down at a pretty good clip, then about 2 inches per hour. I did want to mention the wind must be not great either, because there's an umbrella right behind you that we saw that might be the Fox 43 umbrella that blew all the way over there. It is, isn't it?
It did blow away.
Oh my goodness.
We're gonna go get it though. We'll get it.
All right.
No worries.
Sedona, before you do, Tony's right here next to us. He's wondering if you can describe that precipitation. Do you feel like it's turning a little bit into sleet, or is it still pretty snowy?
Honestly, from when we were out here at 8 in the morning to now, I do, sense a change for sure. It does feel pretty icy right now, not so much as that softer snow. So there's definitely a concern there that it is starting to feel a little bit icy. It kind of hits when it hurts when it hits your face. So that is definitely a concern, and we're going to definitely continue to monitor that.
Yeah, Tony had mentioned that you're expecting a changeover around midday there.
Right.
As it becomes a little more sleet-like.
That tracks.
Like that's happening right now. for her.
Absolutely. Well,
All right.
Sedona, you get warm. We've kept you outside long enough. Thanks so much. We'll check back in with you soon.
And get that umbrella.
Good morning, everybody. 10:25 is our time here on this Sunday morning. Snow, and now starting to get some a little bit of sleet that's trying to mix in with the snow. It is still predominantly snow across the area, but that sleet line, the mix and changeover line, will continue to move north here coming up over the next couple of hours. Looking at Rappo right now, big flakes of snow coming down and piling up pretty fast here in south central Pennsylvania. Harrisburg, pure snow coming down at a heavy clip at around 2 inches per hour. The further north and west that you are in the viewing area, the more snow you will see. Before things are all said and done, parts of the area could get 16 to 18 inches of snow. Everybody under a winter storm warning. Snowfall expectations roughly from 78 and 81 northwestward. 12 to 16 inches. Some isolated amounts will go to 1.5 feet. Now further south and southeast, 6 to 12 inches of snow. Lightest amounts, if you will, extreme southeastern Lancaster County, extreme southeastern York, where some sleet will start to mix in and will eventually cut down on totals, likely between 6 and 8 or maybe 9 inches of snow there. And then north and west, between York to Harrisburg, between Gettysburg to Carlisle, that is where amounts will range between 10 to 12 inches of snow. Visibility down pretty far in most spots where we're seeing this steadier, heavier snow moving through. Quarter of a mile, maybe a third of a mile in some cases. And things are coming down fast and furious. Temperatures right now only around 10 degrees, give or take a degree or two. Snow moving from southwest to northeast. The deeper the blue, the heavier the snow. And again, 1 to 2 inch per hour rates now in much of south central Pennsylvania. And look how much is still in the pipeline. Look at all this heavy precip all the way down through Kentucky and Tennessee, moving off to the north and northeast. So we still have many, many hours to go to deal with this storm. Wind coming in from the east, 5 to 10, enough to cause a little bit of blowing and drifting snow. That becomes a big concern tomorrow. Winds do pick up a bit today, but tomorrow, once things are all said and done, winds will gust 25 to 35 miles per hour, and that's why that weather impact alert goes into Monday for blowing and drifting snow. And then Monday night, Tuesday morning, with this wind chill factors between 10 and 20 below heading into Tuesday morning. We'll be back after a short break.
Just after 10:30 on your Sunday morning. Thank you for joining us for a special edition of Fox 43 Morning News. I'm Gabrielle Mediak.
And good morning, everybody. I'm James Tully. We're going to check in now with Jacob Hitz, talk about this storm. Our area getting coated pretty good right now, getting accumulation totals around 5 inches in York, hearing as much as 6 inches in other places, perhaps more. Right now, Jacob, talk about the changeover potentially happening.
Yeah, and we will see this change from all snow to sleet mixing in, especially in our southeastern spots, York and Lancaster, as we get to a little later on this morning. This is the state capitol in Harrisburg this morning. Obviously, visibility has not improved there to this point with, it's still pretty ugly out there. Here are snowfall totals as of last check. Marysville, Perry County, just under 6 inches. Mont Alto in Franklin County, that's up to 6 inches. Lebanon at around 4. Same with Millersburg there in Dauphin County, and Loganville in York County at 4.5. I think the last check in York City, or just south of York City, at around 5 inches. And of course, when we were out with Sedona a little earlier in the hour, we were looking at anywhere between 6 and 7 inches or so, somewhere in that range. Now, current conditions out there still, lots of snow out on the roadways like we've been talking about all morning long. You have a little bit of a line there, 81 at Shippensburg, where you have maybe a little bit of a path, but for the most part, snow covered from 30 at Columbia to 81 at Route 11, all the way up to 322 and 22 in Mifflintown. The roads are going to be a big story not only today, but tomorrow because of that blowing snow. We'll shift over to Tony to talk about the wind that is on the way. Obviously, the winter storm warning hanging around for the rest of today and into tomorrow. By the time we get to tomorrow afternoon, this will expire. And then, of course, we watch those winds, Tony, and the fact that this snow is going to be blowing around, drifting, blowing onto the roadways. And because of how cold it's going to be, some of those spots on the road is going to freeze right back up.
Yeah, Jake, it's going to be a different story tomorrow. We're not going to be dealing with falling snow. We're going to be dealing with blowing and drifting snow on Monday, and problems likely to continue on roadways through the afternoon and even into tomorrow night. And as the storm system continues to move away, it's going to drag down another shot of bitterly cold Arctic air. Tuesday morning, wind chills likely to be between 10 and 20 below at that point. Winter storm warnings for everybody through 1 o'clock tomorrow. Snowfall expectations really have not changed at all. Our map appears to be in really good shape, roughly south and east of 81 and 78. 6 to 12 inches of snow. The closer that you are to the pink, the better the chance of getting to that 10 to 12 inch range. So let's say around Manheim and then southwest through about New Cumberland. Foot of snow looks to be a pretty good bet to Biglerville. Now, as you continue off to the south and southeast, you get into more of a snow-sleet mix, and that does cut down on snowfall totals. The ratios, the snow-to-water ratio, gets lower. Further north and west, where it is pure snow and deeper into that Arctic air, snow-to-water ratios are as much as 20 to 1. So 1 inch of liquid producing 20 inches of snow, and 20 inches is possible across Mifflin County and also Juniata County before things come to an end later on tonight. Sunday through Tuesday, our weather impact alert, significant snow certainly today. Dangerously cold heading into Monday night through Tuesday. Frostbite risk elevated at that point. Wind chills 10 to 20 below zero. Looking at radar right now, as we scan the skies, it's all deep blue. It is all moderate to heavy snow along 30, 83, 15, 30, back to the west, 234, picking up on heavier amounts of snow. And then further west here, 11, 81, 997. If by chance you have to do any traveling, just give yourself a lot of extra time. Make sure you have blankets in the car, something to stay warm in case you get stuck, because these temperatures right now are not going anywhere throughout much of the day. We're sitting only right around 10 degrees, and with a breeze coming in from the east right now, it feels like it's a little bit below zero in most spots, but those wind chills get really low by Tuesday, as cold as 10 to 20 below by daybreak Tuesday morning.
All right, so right now, we're talking about a storm that is very big from the Rocky Mountains to New England. More than half the U.S. population impacted by this in some way, and that means air travel pretty much at a standstill right now. This is being called the biggest air traffic cancellation event since the pandemic. I got some numbers for you. D.C. Reagan Airport, 100% canceled. Philly Airport, 94% canceled. American Airlines, nearly half of their flights canceled nationwide.
I mean, it's what we've been seeing across the country, and we're going to take a look at things here at home at Harrisburg International Airport in Dauphin County. We're joined now on the phone by HIA spokesman Scott Miller. Scott, thank you for being here this morning. What are you seeing at your airport?
Well, in terms of flight activity, it's pretty quiet. We had one departure this morning, another one getting ready to go now. But outside of that, as you've seen nationwide, everything's pretty much canceled, which makes sense. So flight activity, there's not a lot. However, obviously with the snow coming down, there's a ton of activity from our staff and contractors working on the roads, the parking lot, the runways, the taxiways, and things like that. So that when the airlines are ready to fly again and the weather calms down, everything's ready to go.
You know, Dwayne, it has to be brought up here. Anybody with plans to travel this week, our meteorologists really concerned about the cold temperatures. They're concerned about snow drifts and this sticking around for a while. Any outlook for you? Tell us about what you guys are planning for and what you're thinking.
Well, it's one of those things. We have staff there came in midnight last night, and we'll have people there for 3-4 days. We'll rotate them through because unlike a roadway where you just pile in your driveway, pile big piles of snow up on the side, we can't do that for wingtip clearance safety purposes. So the blowing and the drifting does become a concern as we get into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So it's a constant battle. We've had a lot of experience. People have been through this stuff before. Now, every storm is completely different. So, you never know exactly what to expect, but we'll make sure the airport's open and safe. The airlines are going to fly when they feel it's safe to do so. And if you have a thing that if you're booked this week, make sure you're in touch through the airline app, monitor the status, and there are some alerts out there that if you feel you can change your flight, most airlines allow you to do that without penalty. That being said, all the flights canceled today. It's going to be hard to find seats in the next 3, 4, 5 days because the entire network is kind of messed up in the sense that airplanes, crews are in the wrong spots. The airlines are trying to be aggressive at canceling flights so they can recover as quickly as possible. But this is a 3, 4, 5 day impact if you're traveling, and patience is key.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Now we know at Reagan International they have 100% cancellation rate. Do you know on your end how many flights are canceled or the percentage?
Today, it's probably 90, 95%. So far today, we have 60 scheduled arrivals, departures today. Right now, we've had one departure, one arrival, and one departure is about ready to go. There are a couple later today that are still listed as on time. Whether they happen or not, I don't know. But it's going to be a good 90% cancellation rate at least.
Yeah,
which
that
makes
checks
sense.
out. Yeah, it certainly does with the conditions.
And like you said, Scott, it's the right thing to do. And I want to reiterate something you said earlier. This, even after the snow stops falling, is a 3, 4, maybe even 5 day impact. So if you have a flight or you do have travel plans this week, you might want to look really closely at that.
Yeah.
One of those things, if you're booked on a flight and you get to that 24-hour window, confirm, through the app right away to confirm your seat and everything like that way. Because if you wait till, the day of or the day of the flight to check in, there are always people looking for your seat. So it's something you're going somewhere, a business trip, a vacation trip, something's very important. Make sure you get to that 24-hour window, you check in, confirm your seat that way. The airlines know how many more seats on that flight they have to try and get rescheduled people onto. There's a lot more people now flying than there are seats, and a cancellation this magnitude nationwide really makes it difficult for the airlines to get everyone where they want to go.
Yeah, there's certainly going to be a lot of shuffling around, Scott. Thank you so much for making time for us this morning, and I'm sure we'll check back in with you throughout the week to see how the progress is going. We appreciate it. Thanks so much. Well, the snow, of course, causing dangerous conditions right here on the ground, too, on all the roads. And state leaders are urging people to just stay home if you can.
If you absolutely have to travel, and it is not recommended, again, PennDOT operating the main roads, your major thoroughfare under a Tier 4 right now, which means cars, trucks, emergency responders, that's it. That is who is allowed to be out there, as we've got our Robert Stover up. There were some concerns from officials earlier, Rob, about people driving too fast. The speed limits on most major roadways right now are around 45 miles an hour. Are you seeing people starting to abide by that a little bit? Because conditions certainly aren't getting any better and visibility isn't getting any better either.
Yeah, I would say for the most part, at least here in Carlisle, the area that we've been set up in for the past few hours, people have been respecting, basically abiding to the rules that have been set, some of the other recommendations. We do have a couple vehicles actually behind us, all the way from snow trucks, snow plows, large commercial trucks, and then your usual pedestrian vehicles like a minivan. A word of caution, just something I've remember from speaking with officials like Fritzy from PennDOT before, is maintaining a safe distance away from other vehicles, especially in conditions like this. But of course, the biggest, word of advice that officials like them have is stay off the road. Don't go on it unless you absolutely have to, and conditions have not really improved over the past few hours. Again, at least in our area, the wind has maintained its speed. Visibility hasn't gotten that much better, even though that the sun has come up behind the clouds and have kind of lit the way just a little bit more. People still have their windshield wipers on. People are still going slow. It's because of all these different variables that the Cumberland County Board of Commissioners announced a declaration of disaster emergency yesterday. Now, what that means is that certain government buildings in the area, like the courthouse, for example, they're going to be closed down on Monday, and only certain people will be allowed into that building, those essential workers. Now, the declaration also allows county officials to purchase needed supplies, employ temporary workers, and enter into contracts and agreements with vendors in an atypical manner. Not sure if this gentleman with the snowplow in front of his vehicle, and he's from a landscaping company, not sure if he's employed by the county or maybe at the rest stop we're at. We've seen vehicles like his kind of enter in and out of the area throughout the past couple hours now. Now, since we have been talking about safety on the road, if you have had to make it out, you heard Tony say a little bit earlier, pack some blankets. I would also maybe recommend packing a few snacks if you do find yourself stranded. Here's something else. This is typically what we carry in our station cars. It is a first aid kit. It can also be an emergency kit that has snacks, that has batteries, it has blankets, hand warmers, anything that's going to keep you safe and comfortable if you do find yourself in a situation you don't want to be in. I said it way earlier this morning. Stay at home, please. Don't come out and potentially freeze. Just kind of keep that in mind as you plan out your day today. In terms of other conditions in the area, I've been checking online Facebook groups, haven't seen too many incidences take place where someone lost power or there was a vehicle accident. I have not observed that. That isn't to say it hasn't happened or to say it could not happen. So the best thing you can do for yourself, whether you're in Carlisle or another municipality, stay inside and stay safe. We're going to continue to monitor this area and provide information as it becomes available to us on air and online at fox43.com. Live in Carlisle, Cumberland County, Robert Stover, Fox 43 News.
So Robert, after checking in with Sedona, she said she felt a bit of a change, the snow feeling a bit more like sleet out there. Is that the same with your area in Carlisle?
That sounds about accurate. I can definitely feel it hitting on my hood with a little bit more weight to it. When it comes compared to that fine snow, that powdery mix, really didn't feel too much on my person this morning, but I can definitely feel it and hear it a little bit more this hour. So maybe that's why we've seen a couple less vehicles on the road this half hour, is because now the conditions are changing. Could get a little bit more slick out there.
All right, Robert Stover right in front of Harrisburg Pike there in Carlisle for us. We'll be checking back in shortly. Thanks, Rob.
And our team coverage continuing this morning with Fox 43's Natalie Caranda.
Natalie's in Manchester Township, York County, with an update now. Natalie, talk about how conditions have changed for you over the last 30 minutes since we last talked to you. Sedona telling us she's somewhat close to you, a little bit further south, but she noticed a changeover. It felt to her like some of that snow was turning a bit into sleet. What are you feeling?
Yeah, you can definitely tell it feels a little bit heavier as it was hitting my face in the last hit. So it is starting to feel slightly heavier right now. You can still see we are on Route 30 on Arsenal Road, just off of 83. There are still some cars here passing through at speeds that maybe they should be going slightly slower. I know Fritzy with PennDOT was saying to you guys and all of us just earlier that if you're going to be out on the roads today, you have to take it slow. But even behind me here, as you can see, a truck seems to be stuck over here right at the intersection. He's been here for a couple of minutes shoveling his way out, or at least attempting to. You can see his tires there are also starting to go. I think somebody's trying to move the car or move the truck forward. But another interesting thing, as I've been standing here, is right across here at Round the Clock Diner. They seem to be open. I actually also just saw a guy walk in with a t-shirt and shorts, which I find to be very crazy on a day like today with all of this snow, and the temperatures it's very cold even with all of the layers that I have on. So we are just still out here watching the roads, and you can see another car passing through here. They seem to be taking it slower, but I can also see another snow angel going on behind the diner as well, if we can get a look on that. And people have kind of just been walking across the road as well. So there are people out here enjoying it, but if you're going to be out here, just make sure you are taking it slow. Walking or driving, you don't want to slip and fall, but also you don't want to cause any incidents for our emergency workers and our people that do have to be, our essential workers that do have to be out here today. So we're going to keep monitoring this area and seeing what we can find, and hoping that this guy back here behind me can get out of here okay and everything.
Yeah, Natalie, that's, I grew up here. That's the York County special. Every snowstorm, you'll see somebody in a t-shirt and shorts.
Yep.
Whether they're going to Round the Clock Diner or just walking down the street. We're wondering if anybody's out there braving it with you. I think she's seeing some people, Gabby.
Unfortunately for not for me, but my fiance, he actually was shoveling this morning in shorts, Natalie. So I saw that firsthand. I did appreciate him shoveling for me, though.
All right, we're taking a live look at radar as we wrap things up with Natalie there in York. Here are conditions all across the state of Pennsylvania this morning. Our coverage live right now on Fox 43 Plus continues on the other side of this break.
Well, if you're staying at home like you should be on a day like today, it is Sunday after all, the weather is putting more of a strain on those home plumbing and heating systems all across South Central PA. Home contractors say they've got more repair calls. They're fixing broken pipes, frozen pipes, broken HVAC systems. Contractors say you can prevent the issue by using insulated tape on exposed lines and pipes and also running your faucet on a drip. Experts say changing your HVAC filters and scheduling regular maintenance can really help keep the heat and water in your home from freezing in these cold temperatures.
By keeping your system clean and the filters clean, you can not have a visit from me.
Contractors also recommending clearing off any snow from your HVAC ventilation pipe to prevent a breakdown of your heating and your plumbing system.
Good morning, everybody. Winter storm warnings in effect. They continue all the way through 1 o'clock tomorrow. Snow will continue heavy at times into the afternoon and the evening, although now starting to get some sleet mixing in with the snow south of 30 throughout parts of Franklin County, Adams, York, and Lancaster. And that sleet will continue to try and move in from the south and southeast as we go throughout the entire day. That will eventually cut down on snowfall totals just a little bit here into southeastern parts of south central Pennsylvania. So roughly from Abbottstown east into, let's say, Shrewsbury, also around York, of course, and then east into Lancaster and Gap and Paradise. Likely to see a little bit less in the way of snow because of sleet mixing in. And totals here, anywhere between 6 to as much as about 9 inches of snow. Then as you go north and west, amounts pick up as you continue northwest here across Cumberland County, Perry, Juniata, and Mifflin, and it's right through here. This appears to be the bullseye in our area. Mifflintown, Lewistown, Port Royal. There will be some locations in there, the Seven Mountains area, 16 to maybe 18 inches of snow before things come to an end later on this afternoon and heading into tonight. So certainly a sizable storm. Visibility now, 1/4 mile in most spots because of the steadier, heavier snow falling across the area, slightly higher where things are briefly a little bit better around York right now, west into Thomasville, and then continuing west to around Chambersburg. It's very cold also. This is a cold storm. The snow, dry, fluffy in nature for now, but as some sleet continues to mix in, it will get a little bit more dense, and those snow to water ratios start to come down as we progress into the afternoon hours. But as it stands now, it is 99% snow, heavy at times, moving from southwest to northeast. Little bit of a break here. It's still snowing, but rates backing off a little bit across southern parts of Franklin County, and also every once in a while just a few breaks here and there. One now around Lebanon where it's not snowing as hard compared to just off to the west around Harrisburg, but certainly plenty of precipitation in the pipeline here. Looking at our radar loop, this goes back over the last 3 hours, and you notice it is still heavy snow, sleet, and rain across Tennessee, and this all has to move off to the north and northeast over the next 12 hours or so. So we've got a ways to go until things start to wind down. Wind coming in from the east, 5 to 10 miles per hour. There is a little bit of a blowing snow factor now. That problem really comes into play during the day tomorrow as our winds during the afternoon gust between 25 to 35 from the northwest. So all the snow that's going to fall today blowing and drifting around. So as road crews get out, and they're going to be cleaning roads all day today, tonight, and also all day tomorrow, because the wind is going to blow the snow right back on top of many roadways into the afternoon and into tomorrow night. Then later tomorrow night and early Tuesday, with these winds still staying pretty high, we will see wind chill factors daybreak Tuesday between 10 and 20 below zero. Cold stuff and a cold week on the way. This all started back on Friday when we had temperatures falling throughout the course of the day. It's going to go all the way into this upcoming weekend as far as temperatures running well below normal for this time of year. Futurecast into lunchtime today. Snow, heavy at times, starting to get some sleet mixing in. Southern parts of Adams County, southern York, southern Lancaster at this point, and sleet will kind of just bounce in and out of the area really throughout much of the afternoon. When the heavier precipitation rates come through, it will tend to change back over to snow, but then as things lighten up, it goes back over to a sleet-snow mix and possibly even some freezing drizzle later on today as well. Now, toward the tail end of the storm, colder air rushes back in from the west, and we will end as snow showers later on tonight and heading into the wee hours of tomorrow morning, and then the storm moves away altogether as we approach daybreak on Monday. In fact, tomorrow, we should even see a few rays of sunshine. However, It's going to be cold. It's going to be windy. We're going to have that blowing snow throughout the entire day. It will stay dry. And really looking at much of the week ahead, it looks pretty dry as we go into midweek. So we're done with the snowstorms, but this snow is not going anywhere because those cold temperatures, they're going to stick with us for quite some time. Now, later Monday afternoon, clouds mixing with some sunshine. Temperatures will hit the middle to maybe upper teens during the afternoon, and the wind charging in from the northwest here, gusting 25 to 35 miles per hour. So what you don't see on this